Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, November 22nd, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, Cash App, $ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the number 15 USC Trojans versus the number 7 Oregon Ducks. College football playoff is on the line. And again, this should be a good one. The 8-2 Trojans, 6-1 in the Big Ten. The Oregon Ducks, 9-1, 6-1 in the Big Ten. And again, this is the game of the weekend if you are a college football fan. Now, they do have Oregon on the Vegas line as favorites by 10.5. But, you know, as anyone knows, when we played Indiana, you know, early in the year, I didn't have a very good feeling about that particular matchup since they were top 10 in offense, defense, and special teams. Now, we know this Trojan team isn't as good as the Hoosiers, but again, they do have a few weapons like Mekhi Lemon and others that can make a difference for the Trojans. So, again, we're going to have to get after it. We're going to have to score early and often, and hopefully the running backs will go wild for the Oregon Ducks and will be victorious to improve to 10-1. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Saturday. Let's take a quick look at the thumb, cue the music up, and let's get settled in for some college football this Saturday afternoon. Happy Saturday, everyone. Number 15 USC Trojans, number 7 Oregon Ducks. Let's get it, baby. And we know Dan Lanning wants to be a Duck for life. A lot of times when coaches say that, you know, they say it, but they don't mean it. But Dan wants to be a Duck, you know, for his whole career. And hopefully, you know, the Oregon Duck University, you know, of Oregon will make that happen, not only for the short term, but for the long term as well. Huddle's on the motorcycle, getting ready to get everyone introduced for the Oregon Ducks. And again, kickoff will be here in just a couple of minutes. Let's go Ducks. Players scattering on the field. Looking very crisp with the black unis today. Black jersey, black pants, green apple helmet. I like the combo. Let's get it, baby. And shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Let's get it, baby. Megan in the building, what's good? Marine Bean in the building, what's good? Really looking forward to this matchup. There's only 2 more games, including this one. Obviously, one more after this, where we have the Huskies on the road in Seattle. You know, both games are must win if Oregon wants to make the college football playoff. USC is trying to play spoiler, as well as trying to make their case to be able to get into the college football playoff as well with an 8-2 record. And again, Sunday, we got the Buccaneers and the Rams, one of the better Sunday night matchups that we've seen in the last month and a half. And then Monday, we're going to have the Carolina Panthers against the San Francisco 49ers, which I feel will actually be a pretty good matchup for Monday night. Carolina's playing some pretty good ball this year. And San Francisco, even though with their injuries, it'll be a Christian McCaffrey run CMC revenge game. But I think it will be entertaining, to say the least. Awesome. Let's go, baby. Been looking forward to this one for quite some time. And again, we only have one loss this year, you know, to the Indiana Hoosiers, who are ranked number 2 in the nation behind Ohio State. So again, you know, when you end up playing one of the top dogs, Sometimes it goes in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. But again, injuries have been, a key issue for Oregon. Luckily, not on the defensive side. Most of the time it's with our wide receivers. We got Kenyon Sadiq back at tight end, which is great. Running backs galore. We got plenty of them with Noah Whittington and company. And again, whether it's Davison or Hill, the freshman, or Noah Whittington, or Kenyon Sadiq or Dante Moore, we know we got plenty of options there. Now, obviously, DeCorian Moore is out with the knee. Gary Bryant Jr. is out with the ankle. So we're not going to have two of our top wide receivers available in this matchup. But the Trojans are missing a few players on their end as well. So again, hopefully we'll be able to find enough offense to be able to get the dub here today. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And the Eugene crowd is definitely fired up. College game day was there early in the morning. And again, the students and the faculty, as well as the fans, have been up since 5 a.m. for this one. And again, USC and Oregon have a great history, in the, Pac-10, Pac-12, and now in the Big Ten. And again, you couldn't ask for a better matchup on a Saturday afternoon. And this is by far the best matchup in college football this weekend. Atticus Sappington kicks off, 65 yards, and that will be a touchback. First down and 10 at the USC 25. Oh, no worries. Shotgun set on that no huddle. Maeva pass incomplete, short right to Makai Lemon, who arguably is the best wide receiver in the country this year. One of the best, obviously, overall. And again, we got to get pressure, as often on Maeva as we can. Jaden and Lemon obviously have a great connection. Second down and 10 here for the Trojans. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Maeva short right to Lemon, and that's a 4-yard pass. Good coverage there by Mixon. Third down and 6 at the USC 29. See if we can force a 3 and out, which is not going to be easy against this Trojan team. Let's go, Ducks. Third down and 6, shotgun set. Maeva, pass complete, deep to Jacoby Lane. First down, Trojans. And that is a big catch, 27 yards. First down, Trojans. And again, one-on-one coverage. Normally it's Lemon making those big catches, but Jacoby Lane can do it as well. First down, USC. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Maeva short right. And that's about a 1-yard loss. Second down and 11 at the Oregon 45. About 13 minutes left here in the first quarter. 0-0 here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. Shotgun set, and King Miller with a 4-yard run there right up the middle. Third down and 7 at the Oregon 41. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Maeva pass incomplete to King Miller. Short right, now 4th down and 7 at the Oregon 41. You would assume the Trojans would punt, but you never know in college football now. Obviously, that would be, you would assume, too far for a long field goal, but, you never know, obviously, in, college football in 2025 nowadays. Shotgun set. I have a pass incomplete, short right to King Miller, but we got a penalty there. 5-yard penalty for, looks like, what, illegal substitution? Brutal. 12-man on the field. 3rd down and 2 at the Oregon 36. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Brian Jackson rushing right up the middle. 6-yard gain. 1st down, Trojans. 1st down and 10. Move the chains. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Maeva pass incomplete, short left to Jacoby Lane. 2nd down and 10 at the Oregon 30. About 12 minutes left here in the first quarter. Number 15 USC Trojans 8-2, 6-1 in the Big Ten. Number 7 Oregon Ducks 9-1, 6-1 in the Big Ten, with our only loss to the Indiana Hoosiers, who are number 2 in the country behind the Ohio State Buckeyes. Got to get on Maeva as much as we can. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. And again, the defense has definitely got to be able to get some tip passes, some interceptions, some fumbles, some punch outs, and we definitely have to be able to get some good hurries on Maeva as well. Shotgun set, Maeva, pass complete, short left to Jacoby Lane. 16-yard gain. 1st down, Trojans. Move the chains. 1st down and 10 at the Oregon 14. To go from Caleb Williams to Jaden Maeva, obviously we know how celebrated Caleb was when he was at USC, but Maeva definitely can sling it and fling it, and he's showing that here early in Eugene in the first quarter. Shotgun set, no huddle. King Miller rushing to that left side for 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 at the Oregon 10. And obviously holding them to a field goal would be ideal, but the way that they've been pushing the ball down the field here early, even though we do trust our defense maybe a little bit more than our offense most of the time, again, it's going to be a battle and a war all Saturday night long. 2nd down and 6 at the Oregon 10-yard line. Come on, Ducks. We need a big play. Shotgun set on the no huddle. King Miller rushing right up the middle. Yard gain. Alexander with the coverage for the Ducks. And that is the former USC Trojan, Bear Alexander. And hopefully Bear will be able to have a monster game here against his former team. 3rd down and 4 at the Oregon 8. 0-0 here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. And obviously a must-win game for both if they want to be considered for the college football playoff, but more so for Oregon. USC playing spoiler. They have 2 losses, but again, if Oregon loses this game, college football playoff pretty much you would assume would go out the door, even though Oregon would be able to make a lot of money there for college football. Shotgun set. Touchdown, Makai Lemon, and Makai Lemon doing Makai Lemon things. There's a reason why he's one of the best wide receivers in the country, if not the best. Touchdown, Trojans. And again, we're going to have to match the best that we can with our running game. And again, no Gary Bryant Jr. as well as DeCorian Moore. DeCorian is out, obviously, with the knee. Gary Bryant Jr. out with the ankle, but a nice screen pass, and again, the speed by Lemon is really the difference. Great route runner, great hands, and a great feel for the end zone for Makai Lemon. Extra point is up, and good. 7-0 Trojans. All right, Ducks, your turn, baby. Let's go. Got to get him settled in. Let's go, Dan. Let's go, Dante Moore. 7-0 here early with the Trojans. 9:54 left in the first quarter. And again, defense needs to be a little bit better in the secondary. Overall, we're really good at run defense and pass defense for the most part. But again, this is not going to be necessarily an easy game. Definitely feels like it could go back and forth. And you never know. It could end up being whoever has the ball last ends up winning this game. Yes, beautiful November crisp day in Eugene. And again, taking a walk with the pup early this morning, very cold, in the 30s and 40s, very crisp. Obviously for us here in the Pacific Northwest, obviously, as you know, in the Midwest, in the Northeast, it will get much colder in November. But for us, early, in the morning, that's a little crisp. And again, a lot of us have been up very, very early for this matchup. Game day was there early in the morning at 5 a.m. And again, we're ready to go. We just need the defense to be a little bit better. But again, that Mayava and Lemon are going to connect. The real question is how many times? They already got one touchdown with Mayava and Lemon, and we got to be able to limit those, touchdowns with that combo because, they're so good. Lemon could score 3 times today. There's no doubt about that. But again, if we can limit a little bit of the damage and hopefully respond with Dante Moore, we'll be just fine. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, Dan, let's get it, baby. Let's go, Dante. We need you. Commercial break in progress. First drive for the Ducks incoming here momentarily. Great start for the Trojans early. And again, they're going to have to be able to run the football effectively to open up that passing game. And again, King Miller, definitely can step up into the role as a starter now. And hopefully we'll be able to, get to Mayava more times than not. Because again, if he's got a clean pocket, it's going to be a long, long day. And if you're just tuning in, Jaden Mayava pass to Makai Lemon, 8 yards with the screen pass. Sayuri with the extra point, up and good. 11 plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes and 6 seconds on that drive. And you couldn't ask for a better drive on the road than what you saw there from the Trojans. All right, Ducks, our turn. Let's go. Especially with Lemon's speed there, as you can see. Great hands, great route runner, got a great knack for the end zone. And again, one of the best wide receivers, if not the best in the country in 2025 this year. And again, as everyone knows, the Ducks and the Trojans are going to have NFL players every single year. They're going to have speed. They're going to have physicality. And again, especially with the skill position players on offense, it's almost a given you're going to get a few NFL stars, on both sides. Kickoff from Sayuri, 62 yards, and that is out of bounds at the Oregon 3. And flag on the play. .8 completion percentage, 2,190 yards, 21 passing TDs there for Dante Moore. And we're going to need a few of them here today. Whittington rushes right up the middle, 3-yard gain. Crawford and Silver for the Trojans in coverage, 2nd down and 7 at the Oregon 38. And again, we're not going to be one of those teams that's just going to run, 90% of the time or throw 90% of the time. We're definitely going to have to try to have a balanced offense the best that we can here. But again, we got 3 amazing running backs, 2 are freshmen, and hopefully we'll be able to get everyone enough touches here today. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Dante Moore, pass complete, short middle to Malik Benson. Go, baby. First down, Ducks. 24-yard pass there from Dante Moore to Malik Benson. First down and 10. Move the chains. Let's go, Ducks. There we go. Let's get it, baby. And again, that slant route was beautiful, and he threaded the needle perfectly. Great job. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Dante Moore, pass complete, short right. Malik Benson again. 3-yard pass, second down and 7 at the USC 35. And no DeCorian Moore and no Gary Bryant Jr., so we're out with our 2 top wide receivers. And again, we still have Kenyon Sadiq and a few of these other individuals like Benson that can hopefully step up today. Shotgun set with the no huddle. Dante Moore, pass complete, short left to Jeremiah McClellan. 20-yard pass, first down, Ducks. Move the chains. Stevens in coverage there, first down and 10 at the USC 15. And just when you thought that the USC, pushed that football down the field pretty quick, 4 plays, 50 yards, less than 2 minutes for Oregon. Let's go. Matching that same type of energy. And again, McClellan isn't really someone that we normally can count on. But again, next man up mentality with Moore and Bryant obviously out here today. And obviously, Evan Stewart has been out for pretty much the year, and we can't wait for him to come back. Shotgun set. De'Aaron Hill Jr., one of the fantastic freshman running backs that we have, 4-yard gain to the USC 11. Pierce with the coverage there, the safety for the Trojans. Second down and 6 at the USC 11. Now we got Davison, another one of the fantastic freshman running backs. Davison, shotgun set, 11 yards, touchdown, Oregon. There we go. 6 plays, 65 yards, 2:49 on the clock. And just like that, the Oregon Ducks bounce back. Nice job by Jordan Davison. And again, with 3 quality running backs, we have the 2 high-ranked freshman running backs in the country with Davison and Hill, and then you got Noah Whittington on top of that. So again, even though we don't have Bryant and we don't have Moore, we still feel very comfortable that we can compete with the Trojans here today or anybody in the country. Obviously, we know the Hoosiers took care of business and beat us up, and obviously Ohio State is great, but we feel that we can match up with anybody. Nice job there. Atticus Sappington, extra point is up and good. And we have a 7-7 tie here early, 7:05 in the first quarter. And this is kind of playing out how I kind of anticipated it. I figured that the Duck defense would start a little slow, kind of get used to the athletic bodies like Lemon, on the other side. But eventually, they're going to have to be able to turn it up to another gear. But a lot of athletic bodies on the field. And they have definitely demonstrated that they can score early and often. And we got a nice 7-7 tie here early on a showcase game, the best game all weekend for college football right here, right now. Let's go. Go Ducks. Commercial break. Great job by Dan Lanning and Dante Moore, as well as Will Stein. And again, we know with our offensive coordinator, sometimes we're not really pleased with the play calls, but overall, doing a good job here early today. Number 15, USC Trojans. Number 7, Oregon Ducks in a battle here on the West Coast. 7-7 here early, 7:05 left in the first quarter on a commercial break. Let's go over some of the other scores that we have here in college football today. Number 10, Alabama stomping Eastern Illinois 35-0. Why are they playing Eastern Illinois? You tell me. Notre Dame 28, Syracuse 0. Vandy up 3-0 on Kentucky. Texas up 7-3 on Arkansas. 7-0, number 24, Tulane up 7-0 on Temple. Michigan and Maryland knotted up at 0. And then obviously you got a few other matchups here later today. Number 12, Utah versus Kansas State. Number 23, Houston versus TCU. Number 16, Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh later on. Number 20, Tennessee versus Florida. That's on at 4:30 at ABC. Number 21, Illinois versus Wisconsin. BYU and Cincinnati on Fox later today. And then you got Arizona State and Colorado on ESPN2 later, obviously, tonight. Ohio State final, 42-9 over Rutgers. No surprise there. Oklahoma winning 17-6 over Missouri. And Miami stomping Virginia Tech 34-17. Georgia doing the same to Charlotte 35-3. And then A&M winning 48-0 over Samford. Why is Samford on the schedule? I have no idea, but you tell me. Let's go, baby. We're at 18 likes, 82 to goal. Let's go, baby. And Sappington kicks off 65 yards, fair caught by Lemon. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's see what USC does here on their second drive. But a fantastic start here in the first quarter with a 7-7 tie here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. Great, another injury to one of our unreliable receivers in McClellan, but hopefully he'll be okay because, we are starting to get thin at that position. No huddle, shotgun set for Mayava, pass complete short left to Jacoby Lane. 11-yard pass, first down, Trojans. Quick no huddle on the shotgun set. Mayava, pass incomplete short right. Walker Lyons, the tight end, the intended receiver. Second down and 10 at the USC 36. And almost intercepted there by Oregon. That bobble by Walker Lyons almost cost USC. Had 3 Ducks there in coverage, but couldn't come down with it. And hopefully Betcher will come up with some big plays here today. Shotgun set on the no huddle. King Miller rushing to the left side for a 2-yard gain. Betcher in coverage. Third down and 8 at the USC 38. And hopefully this will be the time where Oregon starts ramping it up on the defensive side of the ball. We're a little bit stronger on that side than USC this year. And again, we are at home, so we need to feed off that crowd. Third down and 8 at the USC 38. 7-7 here early in the first quarter between the Trojans and the Ducks. Third down and long here for the Trojans. And we got an injury here, a Trojan down. You got the center down, and that's one of the more intricate pieces, on that offensive line, as you know. They had some injuries in the, secondary position as well as the offensive line. Like the wide receiver injuries that we had on our end. And let's see the replay here. Hopefully he's okay. So he goes to pull, and he actually gets kind of rolled up on by his own teammate running into the back of him. And it looks like King Miller might have caused that injury to his own player, but I hope he's okay. Those are the worst when you end up getting a player on your own team running into your back, and then you get kind of folded up and, you kind of awkwardly land. And, obviously when you're a big boy on the O-line, sometimes if you get bent a certain direction, there can go your Achilles, your knee, ACL, MCL, PCL. It didn't look that serious, based on the replay, but hopefully he'll be okay. Now off to a commercial break until they get settled with that injury. 7-7 here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. Great start so far in the matchup. Both offenses flowing early and often. And again, injuries are going to be a factor in this particular matchup. And hopefully we don't have too many, here today. And obviously Oregon after today ends up playing the Washington Huskies in Seattle on the road, 7-3 record. And again, probably not really what the Huskies anticipated this year, with Damon Williams and Jonah Coleman and obviously with Boston as well, Denzel Boston at wide receiver, good offensive line, good defense. And obviously the Huskies will try to knock off the Ducks next week. But we're definitely getting down to the nitty gritty towards the end of the season, last 2 weeks of the regular season. And then you'll have your championship matchups for your conference. And then eventually we'll get into the college football playoff. Looks like the center is hurt pretty bad. He had to have a player and a medical staff member kind of carry him off. He's going to the medical tent. So 6 different starting O-line. And this is going to be a factor moving forward. 3rd down and 8. No huddle. Shotgun set. Mayava. Pass incomplete short right to Jacoby Lane. And now it's 4th down and 8 at the USC 38. And only bringing 4 there, and again, just out of reach for Jacoby Lane. And that's going to turn into a Trojan punt. So great defense there by Oregon on the second drive. First, drive, they gave up a touchdown. Second drive, you finally force the punt unless they end up going for a fake, which knowing USC could happen at some point in this game. See if we can get a good return here for the Ducks and get some good field position. Johnson, 17 punts, 41.1 average, 59 is his long this year. And fair caught and then hit. And that's a flag. Benson with the fair catch, and Trojan players may or may not have saw the fair catch sign there. Kick catch interference there by the Trojans. We'll take the extra yards. .603 left here in the first quarter. Timeout is called as we go to another commercial break. 7-7 here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. All right, baby. Next drive, second drive for the Ducks. Let's see if we can get this done with Lanning, Will Stein, and Dante Moore. Let's get it, baby. Let's go. .603 left here in the first quarter. 7-7 here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. And if you're just tuning in to the broadcast, Mayava was great on the first drive for the Trojans. 11 plays, 75 yards, 5:06 on the clock. And Makai Lemon, obviously a fantastic wide receiver, 8-yard screen pass. Siri with the extra point, up and good. Trojans up 7-0 early. And then obviously for the Ducks, we responded quickly. We're trying to strike early and often. 6 plays, 65 yards, 249 for Oregon, and Davison runs for an 11-yard touchdown. Atticus Sappington extra point, up and good, and we're knotted up at 7 now. USC punted on their second drive after an injury to their center, which will be crucial to their success here today, I believe. And we'll see what Oregon can do here on our second drive. Hopefully we can put up a minimum of 3, but we definitely are going to be looking for 6. Marcus Mariota there in the building, 2014 Heisman Trophy winner. And obviously, as we know, some quarterbacks may have not, fulfilled their true potential in the NFL, but Justin Herbert and Bo Nix are doing their thing. And obviously you got Mariota and Dylan Gabriel in the NFL as well. Shotgun set and a nice 7-yard run there from Noah Whittington. Urlacher there with the tackle. Kennedy, I see you. A hard hit there on the Oregon Ducks. Second down and 3. Dante Moore, pass incomplete. Short middle to Noah Whittington. Third down and 3 at the Oregon 40. So now McClellan injured on the opening drive. Gary Bryant Jr. out today with the ankle, and DeCorian Moore, our 5-star recruit freshman, out with a knee and has been out for the last few weeks, and we definitely have missed him. Luckily we're 3-4 deep in the running back room, and we did get Kenyon Sadiq back obviously recently as well, and he might be the number 1 tight end in the country, so we still have options on offense. Good pressure there by the Trojans on Dante Moore. Third down and 3. No huddle on the shotgun set. Dante Moore, pass complete, short middle. Jamari Johnson. Go, baby, go. First down, Oregon. 15-yard pass there from Dante Moore to Jamari Johnson, the other tight end for Oregon. Move the chains. Let's go. Third down conversion, 49.2%. That's 4th in the Big Ten. Shotgun set. Dante Moore, pass incomplete, short right to Malik Benson. Second down and 10 at the USC 45. Got to give Justice Lowe an opportunity there. And again, Dante Moore might be battling not only the USC defense, but also the sun glare, here early in the afternoon in Austin. Second down and 10 at the USC 45. Shotgun set, no huddle. Dante Moore, pass complete, short middle to my favorite tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. First down, Oregon. Move the chains. 14-yard pass from Moore to Sadiq. First down and 10 at the USC 31. Move the chains. Let's go. And again, when we had no Bryant, no Moore, and no Sadiq, things were, not ideal, especially a few weeks back against Wisconsin. We've had a few games with some inclement weather against Wisconsin and Eugene, and then against Iowa, obviously on the road, but we were able to find a way to get the job done. No huddle on the shotgun set on first down and 10. Jordan Davison, the fabulous freshman, rushing right up the middle, 3-yard gain. Stevens with the coverage for the Trojans. 2nd down and 7 at the USC 28. Let's keep moving that football. Go Ducks. I love Hill. Kind of reminds me a little bit of LeGarrette Blount. I love Jordan Davison, another fabulous freshman. And then you got Noah Whittington. Every running back does everything a little bit differently, but all have an amazing skill set for Oregon in 2025. I'm not sure if we've been this deep at running back in quite some time. And we got an Oregon Duck player down. Looks like it's one of the offensive linemen. Damn, an Oregon center goes down. What are the chances of both centers getting injured in the first quarter? I don't think I've ever seen that all season. And I've been watching, usually about 3 or 4 college football games a Saturday. Not ideal. I don't know what's going on out there, but hopefully USC center will be okay, and hopefully Oregon's as well. You need someone to be able to call those, pass protections, make the audible, with your quarterback. And again, hopefully it won't be an injury so significant where he's out for the game. Hopefully he'll be okay. We cut to a commercial break as they look at Oregon center, as USC center just went down on their second drive, and now on Oregon second drive, their center goes down. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but hopefully he is okay. You're having trainers walk off both centers. And obviously USC center got injured because King Miller ran into the back of him and he got folded up kind of awkwardly. Looks like he got leg whipped. Hopefully he'll be all right. And looks like Jeremiah McClellan's got his helmet on and looks like he might be able to re-enter the game. That's a great sign for Oregon. Injuries are not ideal, in college football or in the NFL. That's tough. He was an amazing receiver, for the Hawks here in 2025. Obviously JSN got all the love and the coverage, but anyone that watches the games would know that Horton was the real deal. And we got another timeout here. First timeout, Oregon. Lots of commercial breaks here early. I wasn't anticipating this many, but obviously some extra commercial breaks have been due to injuries. So that's why we're having so many here early on. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 7-7 here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. Shotgun set on first down. And Davison rushing up the middle on second down, 9-yard gain. First down, Ducks. 2nd down and 7 turns into 1st down and 10 at the USC 19. Nice 9-yard gain by the fabulous freshman. 1st down and 10, no huddle, shotgun set, Dante Moore, pass incomplete, short left to Justice Lowe. And again, you're going to have to look at Lowe's direction, more times than not, especially Evan Stewart's been injured the whole year, right? And then DeCorian Moore, our 5-star, wide receiver, maybe the closest thing to Jeremiah Smith or a DeAnthony Thomas, has been injured with the knee for the last few weeks, which is unfortunate. And then Gary Bryant Jr. out with the ankle for the last few weeks as well. Luckily, we have great tight ends and great running backs to kind of fill in the gaps. 2nd down and 10 at the USC 19. And just out of reach on that last pass replay for Moore to Lowe. Shotgun set with the no huddle. Davison rushing right up the middle. Another 9-yard rush 3rd down and 1 at the USC 10. Let's go. No huddle, quick snap, shotgun set. Davison rushing over the middle, 2-yard gain, 1st down, Ducks. 1st and goal at the USC 8, and it feels like we're moments away from another Duck touchdown. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. 7-7 here early between the number 15 USC Trojans, 8-2, 6-1 in the Big Ten, versus number 7 Oregon Ducks, 9-1, 6-1 in the Big Ten as well. 1st and goal at the USC 8. Let's see if Oregon can get another touchdown here on their 2nd drive. 1st drive for USC led to a touchdown to Makai Lemon. They had to punt on their 2nd drive, and here it is, shotgun set. Dante Moore, pass complete short middle. Kenyon Sadiq, touchdown, Oregon, bang! Let's go. The best tight end in the country. Make sure that you know his name. Kenyon Sadiq, touchdown, Ducks. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Great catch there from Kenyon Sadiq. And again, there's not really anybody, linebacker, corner or safety, that can keep up with him. And again, you can have him in the slot, and that's a nightmare. For any linebacker, corner, or safety, you're not going to keep up with him. He's got the physicality, he's got great hands, and a great awareness and a smell for the end zone, just like Lemon does, the wide receiver for the Trojans. Extra point by Atticus Sappington is up, and it is good. 14-7 Ducks. Let's go. (14-7) Oregon lead. Sappington kicks off, 65 yards, touchback, 1st down and 10 at the USC 25. Let's go, baby. No huddle, shotgun set, and Lemon rushes left for a 1-yard gain. Brandon Finney Jr. with the coverage there. 2nd down and 9 at the USC 26. Interesting to see Lemon back there as a running back. Obviously primarily used as a wide receiver, but he has such speed and vision. Again, he will be able to get you some big, chunk plays, you would assume, at some point or another, even though King Miller is going to get a majority of those touches, at least early. No huddle, shotgun set. Mayava, pass complete, deep right to Nook Hines, and 1st down, Trojans. Big 40-yard pass. That was huge. 1st down and 10 at the Oregon 49. And again, you are going to see some big splash plays from both teams. Great job there by Jaden Mayava, and a better job there by Tanook Hines. And again, they have plenty of guys that can make plays with Lemon, and others, and as well as Lane. And now Hines, the number 3, gets involved in the action. Great catch. Eyes in the sun, but we got a flag on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct there by Tanook Hines after the catch. And again, it's cool to celebrate and get excited, but sometimes people take it a little too far. Shotgun set on the no huddle. King Miller rushes right up the middle for 1 yard. 2nd down and 9 here for the Trojans. No huddle, shotgun set. Mayava on 2nd down and 9, pass incomplete, deep left to Jacoby Lane. 3rd down and 9 here at the Oregon 48. TJ in the building. What's good, brother? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Mayava pass incomplete, deep left to Lane, but then the flag comes out. And Brandon Finney Jr. looks like he's going to get caught for pass interference. That's going to be 1st down and 10 at the Oregon 33. I'm good, man. How are you? Looking forward to how this game plays out. And that is the end of the first quarter, 14-7 Oregon. I love it. And we got a great one on Sunday Night Football with the Buccaneers versus the Rams. The Rams might be the best team in football in the NFL besides the Eagles at the moment. And it's going to be a big challenge, to see if the Bucs can keep up with the Rams on the road, especially with all the injuries that the Buccaneers have had. But I'm looking forward to calling that one tomorrow night. And then another, kind of a sleeper matchup. Monday night is the Panthers and the Niners, and I actually think that'll be a fun one. Carolina is in 2nd place in the NFC South. They're no longer, little brother. And again, they've been playing some pretty good ball. We'll see if they can match the Niners' intensity. And we know the Niners have had a lot of injuries like the Buccaneers as well. But with good coaching, where both teams have been able to stay afloat somewhat. But we will find out, obviously, moving forward. End of the first quarter, 14-7 Oregon. Let's go. And if you're just tuning in, kind of a weird start to the game. Both centers went down on second drives for both teams. Hopefully they're going to be okay. One guy, got ran into by his own running back, King Miller. USC's center went down. They had to have a player and a medical staff member carry him off. And then the Oregon center, ended up getting a leg whip and had to leave the game. And hopefully both will be back, because when you lose your center, regardless on how good they are, it definitely changes kind of the, landscape of how you're going to call plays the rest of the game. But to start it off, Mayava passed to Lemon with a screen pass, 8 yards, Siri with the extra point, and it was an 11-play, 75-yard drive that was 5 minutes and 6 seconds. USC, obviously had to strike first, 7-0 Trojans. Then on Oregon's first drive, Davison runs for 11 yards, Sappington with the extra point and good, a couple deep throws as well. 6 plays, 65 yards, 249. So, what USC can do, Oregon can do on that same level. Then it ended up being 7-7. Then, obviously, Dante Moore passed to Kenyon Sadiq just a few minutes back. 8-yard touchdown, Sappington, extra point up and good. Another 11-play, 67-yard drive, 4 minutes and 32 seconds. And that's where we sit right now, 14-7 Oregon. Let's go. DJ, have you got a chance to listen to Brooks's new material? He's starting to crank them out. This new one, Neptune, this one is a slapper. And again, a lot of them are and whatnot. But again, getting those extra upgrades, will definitely take the beat making experience to another level. And I'm proud of him. And again, I can't wait to see what more magic he can make, not only for himself, but also for us here on the channel. Go Ducks. Yeah, I feel this Neptune track, the newest one, might be the most, complete compared to maybe Contact. I feel like maybe those might be, his two best, as of late, but again, a lot of them are very, very good. So, again, I love everything that he ends up putting his, mind to. And, anyone that's got passion and dreams and goals, for whatever they're doing, for myself here on YouTube, for him, obviously in the studio making beats. It's just nice to be able to support your friends and help their dreams come true as well. Waiting for the commercial break to end. 14-7, Oregon lead here early. But Neptune is great. Abso is great. I mean, Contact is great. Haunted, Tell Me. You can just go up and down. And again, he's going to continue to pump out slapper after slapper, and I can't wait. Especially with the new software upgrade, it'll allow him to have more access to more sounds and customization, which will ultimately lead to better beats. Again, it's not only going to help him in his professional career, but it'll also give us amazing music to be able to listen to not only today, but on the channel moving forward, especially when we get back to Mariner season in March. Shotgun set, no huddle, Mayava, pass complete, deep right, Makai Lemon, touchdown, Trojans. And just like that, Mayava to Lemon times 2, and now we have a 14-13 game. Wow. Wow, double pass ends up turning into a touchdown. You kidding me? Let's see if they end up calling that a tutty there. I think it is. Yeah, he's in. Wow, incredible touchdown there. And again, it definitely helps when you end up having an NFL wide receiver. And again, USC has been known for great receivers, from USC with Keyshawn Johnson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, just to name a few. And Makai Lemon is very special. And again, he can do it against elite competition. He can do it against mid competition. And obviously, if your defense is terrible, he will tear you up. And again, our defense is pretty good, and he's already got 2 tutties. So Sierra, extra point is up and good, and we have ourselves a great game here. 14-14 here early between the Trojans and the Ducks. And again, it seems like they're going to be relying on the pass to try to win here today. And again, to Nuck Hines, Makai Lemon, great job there. Lemon pass complete, deep right to Hines, and Hines ended up getting the touchdown after that trick play. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Only need 40 subs to get to 23,300. We're at 23,260 to start today, and hopefully we'll gain a few here tonight. $39 subs now to go to 23,300. Let's get it. Sierra kicks off 65 yards, and that turns into a touchback for Dan Lanning, Dante Moore, and the Oregon Ducks. Very back and forth game. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war. And again, we had a game circled on the schedule with Penn State on the road before the season started. But obviously after Oregon beat Penn State, they imploded and fired their head coach and went on a downward skid. I knew that Indiana game was going to be tough, and I kind of felt that we were going to lose that. They are top 10 in offense, defense, and special teams, and now they're the number 2 in the country with the Ohio State Buckeyes at number 1. So the Buckeyes and the Hoosiers are great this year. And again, on that next tier after, obviously you got teams like Oregon and USC that are trying to battle for a college football playoff spot. And this is a must-win game for both if you want to be considered. Shotgun set, Dante Moore, pass complete, short right to Noah Whittington. 8-yard pass, 2nd down and 2 at the Oregon 33, down that sideline there, scrambling and gambling. Let's go. Well, the Trojans are 8-2, 6-1 in the Big Ten. So, they're much better than last year's team that struggled. So, and again, when you end up having, a quarterback and a wide receiver connection, like, Mayava and Lemon, good things can happen. Shotgun set, no huddle. Dante Moore, pass complete, deep right to Jeremiah McClellan. Get it, baby. There we go. First down, Ducks. Right in between that zone. 23-yard pass by Dante Moore. First down and 10 at the USC 44. Move the trains. Lemon is the best wide receiver on the field. Kenyon Sadiq is the best tight end on the field. So obviously we got the best tight end. You got the best receiver. We got a better running back room than USC. But again, both quarterbacks, definitely have been tested this year and can win games for their teams. And they've shown that. Shotgun set, Dante Moore, pass complete, short right. Whittington caught, 4-yard pass. And we got a flag on the play. Pickard with the penalty there. Illegal snap. Shotgun set with the no huddle. Dante Moore. Incomplete short right to Malik Benson. Third down and 11 at the USC 45. Eight and 2, 6-1 in the Big Ten. USC Trojans ranked 15th in the nation versus the number 7 Oregon Ducks, 9-1, 6-1 in the Big Ten as well. Third down and 11 at the USC 45. Had a very good combo there from Moore to Benson, a little out of range. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Dante Moore, pass incomplete, short left. And now that's going to turn into 4th down and 11 at the USC 45. Odin in the building. What's good? Wasn't able to respond to your messages since I've been calling the game. So that's the reason why. Obviously, once we got to halftime, at that point, I would have been able to respond back. But happy that your Irish are winning in incredible fashion. Yeah, game of the weekend, obviously, here today. Global broadcast between the Trojans and the Ducks. And another catch there that normally, if it was one of our normal receivers, they would have caught that. But again, Jeremiah McClellan making another drop. What's new? And he ended up getting injured earlier in the day. And it shows you how important, to be able to have receivers that can catch. And when you end up having your 5th string guy get promoted to 3rd string and they can't handle it, then you end up getting drops like that. You got to be better. Come on, McClellan. And Ferguson Reynolds with the punt, 29 yards, fair caught there by Makai Lemon. First down and 10 at the USC 16. Go Ducks. Hope your weekend is going well, Odin. Great game like it always is when these two teams play. 12:42 left in the second quarter as we go to another commercial break. All right, we're at 35 likes, 65 to hit goal, and we're looking for our first dono on our dono train. All right, take a look to see if there's anything updated score-wise. Ohio State won in a blowout. Oklahoma beat Missouri. No surprise there. Miami beat Virginia Tech. Georgia beat Charlotte. A&M beat Samford. And again, that's why, with college football, there usually is only a couple good matchups every weekend just because you have over 100 Division I schools. And some are great at football, but others not so much. And see if there's anything that's even worth mentioning here based off the games. Notre Dame up 49-0 on Syracuse. I know Odin loves that. Vandy up 17-0 on Kentucky. Texas and Arkansas battling it out, which you wouldn't assume that would be the case. But again, Arch Manning, maybe not as good as people thought going into the season. 21-13 lead over Arkansas here early. Tulane up on Temple 10-7. Kansas State and Utah knotted up at 7 in the first quarter. And that goes also for Michigan and Maryland, 7-7 in the second. Killian O'Connor with the big brace on his leg. All right, Killian O'Connor, the starting center for the Trojans, is out for the rest of the game. What about Oregon's? He got leg whipped, Laolu, and he's got the tape on the ankle. But again, hopefully he'll be able to come back at some point in this matchup, even if it's in the second half. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Mayava, pass complete, deep right to Makai Lemon. And obviously they know that they love that matchup. They got 2 tutties with Mayava and Lemon already. Second down and 10 at the USC 16. Sarah in the building, what's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it. Bye-bye. Looking forward to the NFL matchups tomorrow as well. Got a few decent ones. Maybe not as spectacular as last weekend, but they'll still be a pretty, a few good ones, especially with the Buccaneers and the Rams on Sunday night. No huddle on the shotgun set. Mayava, pass complete, short right to Lemon. It's like a one-man show so far. Third down and 11 at the USC 15. Shotgun set for Mayava, pass complete to Jacoby Lane. And that is first down, Trojans. 17-yard pass by Mayava to Jacoby Lane. First down and 10 at the USC 32. Now, that'll be the game that I watch in the morning. I'll be watching Colts and Chiefs for you guys. Should be a competitive matchup, you would assume. No huddle, shotgun set. King Miller rushes up the middle, 3-yard gain. Second down and 7 at the USC 35. (14-14) here early in the second quarter. And again, you don't have a whole lot of, rushing statistics for USC. If they're going to win the game, it won't be on the ground. It'll be, through the air and through their defense. There's no doubt about that. No huddle on the shotgun set. King Miller rushing up the middle, 1-yard gain, third down and 6 at the USC 36. Shotgun set. Mayava, pass complete, deep right, going to Makai Lemon again, and broken up by Kennedy. And that is fourth down and 6 at the USC 36. Let's go. I mean, at some point you might have to try to, a little double coverage on Makai Lemon, but Lane is good enough to come up with the big plays there, and in double coverage, they end up knocking it away. Fourth down and 6 at the USC 36. double covered, and he still threw to Lemon, but I don't blame him. I mean, Lemon is, arguably the best wide receiver in the game. And Johnson with the punt. Go, go, go. Touchdown, Oregon. Are you kidding me? An 85-yard return off a punt. Let's go. Let's go. You don't see punt returns for touchdowns that often in college football anymore. And a beautiful return by Malik Benson, hitting the sideline, the 40, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown, Oregon. Let's go. Let's go. And again, you don't really see kick returns or punt returns that often in college football or the NFL. That was sweet. Again, if we're going to have to deal, with Lemon, all day, he's already got 2 tutties. He's a guy that could put up 3 or 4 or 5 by himself. Then we have to find other ways to be able to get points. What great blocking up front there by the Ducks. And the speed by Malik Benson to hit that sideline, tiptoeing in my Jordans, riff-raffing all the way to the end zone. I love it. Extra point is up by Sappington, and good. Let's go. 21-14 Oregon. Let's go. Hell yeah. That was huge. And again, it's not like you're going to see things like that often, like maybe once or twice a season. So again, if you end up getting it more than that, then obviously your special teams might be the best in the country. But, if you've been watching college football in the NFL, pretty rare, to be able to see punts go for touchdowns or even kickoff returns. Every once in a blue moon, you'll see it. But wow, we'll take that. 21-14 Oregon. Huge. Let's go, baby. Nice job, Malik. I see you. (21-14) Oregon, 9:58 left. And again, I imagine Malik will be interviewed after the game. Let's go, baby. Nice job, Malik. And again, when we have some questions at that wide receiver position, we definitely will take anything and everything that we can get, obviously on special teams. Considering, we don't have Evan Stewart. We don't have DeCorian Moore. We don't have Gary Bryant Jr. So we're very thin at wide receiver. But again, Malik Benson stepping up. And I wouldn't be shocked if Benson ends up getting in the end zone, receiving-wise later in this game. That wouldn't be that shocking. Next man up mentality. You got it. Go Ducks. Sappington kicks off, 63 yards. Fair caught. First down and 10 at the USC 25. All right, 21-14 Oregon. at the USC. First down and 10 here at the USC 25. Shotgun set for Mayava. Pass incomplete, deep middle. And again, he's going to go to Lemon like 50 times today. Again, I don't blame him. I mean, you got Lane and a few other guys that will come up, but you know, when you already got 2 touchdowns with your wide receiver who might be the best in the country, you're going to try to go to him as often as you can to keep up with Oregon. Pass incomplete. Deep middle there to Lemon. Second down and 10 at the USC 25. Puddles, it will be definitely busy today. And again, if Oregon's secondary would have turned their head, that could have turned into an interception. And again, Mayava is going to throw to Lemon even when he's double and triple covered. That's how good he is. Until he ends up getting picked off, and then we'll have to adjust to Lane and some of the others. But Oregon just got a sideline warning. Fun game here this Saturday afternoon. Number 15 USC Trojans, number 7 Oregon Ducks here in Eugene. Beautiful fall weather. Shotgun set, no huddle. King Miller rushing to that left side for a 5-yard gain. Third down and 5 for the Trojans. Quick huddle, shotgun set. Mayava, pass complete short middle to Tanook Hines. First down, Trojans. 16-yard pass by Mayava. First down and 10 at the USC 46. Big hit on Tanook Hines, but an Oregon player ended up taking the brunt of that. Hopefully he's okay. Full speed with that hit by 21, and hopefully he's okay. And Flowers is down. He is the one that initiated that big hit. And sometimes when you end up being the defender, depending on where you hit the offensive player, sometimes you're the one that ends up getting banged up a little bit. And Flowers, the 6-foot freshman, ends up running towards the sideline looking like he's okay. Got a helmet to the shoulder, and then his head snapped back a little bit. Hopefully he's all right. Beautiful weather there in Eugene. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Mayava short right to Tanook Hines. Little to no gain there. 6-yard pass from Mayava to Hines. Second down and 4 at the Oregon 48. Looked like he was only going to get a few, but ended up, climbing forward and getting a few extra. Second and 4 at the Oregon 48. 8:25 left and counting in the second quarter. 21-14 Ducks. $10 for 15 for Dante Moore, 12 for 19 for Mayava. And a high snap there, loss of about 9 or 10. Shotgun set, no huddle. Mayava, pass incomplete, short middle to Walker Lyons, incomplete. And now it's 4th down and 13 at the USC 43. And when you have a backup center, that's going to happen. And Oregon obviously, might be using a backup center as well. And, I don't think I've ever seen a game where both centers ended up getting injured relatively, in the same time frame. But that could end up being the bugaboo for the Trojans if they can't figure that out. Intercepted. Let's go. Let's go. Big interception there by the Ducks. Let's go. Again, that's the problem if you end up being kind of one-dimensional where you're really throwing the ball 80% of the time and, you're running it with King Miller here and there, gaining 1 to 3 yards, but that's not going to, get the job done. Not against Oregon. We got a flag on the play. Let's see what the refs are in a huddle here. Let's see what they're discussing. Then we had a USC player pushing an Oregon player. What's that about? What's Jacoby Lane doing? He wants to fight? Unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't think I've ever seen a player try to go after another player after an interception and then try to push him into the wall. He's lucky he's not ejected. I mean, he's on the sideline pushing him into the wall. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a player do that in college football. Yeah. Whether you want the football or not, that's not yours at that point. That's a weird sequence there. I don't think I've seen that before, but a great interception there. Oh, big woo, baby. He gets the big interception. I thought it was just going to be incomplete, but over the top. Iffy. Not making an iffy play whatsoever. And let's see if Oregon can end up getting another touchdown to kind of push our lead from 7 to 14. Let's go Ducks. Great defense there by Oregon. And I don't really know what USC was thinking there with that unsportsmanlike conduct on Lane, but first down and 10, no huddle, shotgun set. Noah Whittington rushing up the middle. Go, baby, go. There we go. First down, Oregon, 17-yard gain. Eric Gentry, the linebacker for the Trojans with the coverage. First down and 10 at the USC 39. Let's go Ducks, baby. Let's go. Whittington breaking 3 tackles. And again, when you have 3 fantastic running backs, 2 of the best freshmen in the game, and obviously adding Noah Whittington to that mix, we're going to be very hard to beat. And we got another flag on the play. Go Ducks. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Oh, wow, on Oregon. That's not something you see that often. Davey Uli, our offensive lineman there, starting to get a little chippy out there. No huddle, shotgun set for Noah Whittington, rushing up the middle for a 5-yard gain. Kennedy Urlacher, the safety there for the Trojans with the coverage. Second down and 5 at the USC 49. No huddle, shotgun set. Dante Moore, pass complete. Short right to Noah Whittington. 8-yard pass. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Go Ducks. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Go Ducks. Keep pushing that football down the field. And again, we're going to have that balanced offense. We got 3 stud running backs. Our wide receivers are banged up and hurt, but others will step up. And Kenyon Sadiq is the best tight end in the country. So again, if we need another option, we can always go there. Shotgun set. Davison rushing up the middle. Another fantastic freshman running back with him and Hill. And a nice 6-yard run up the middle. Second down and 4 at the USC 35. Shotgun set. Davison running on that right side now, falling forward for a 1-yard gain. Cameron Crawford with the coverage and the tackle DN for the Trojans. Third down and 3 at the USC 34. About 5 minutes to go before halftime. 21-14 Oregon. Chance to make the college football playoff with the win, 89% with the loss, 2%. So obviously both teams are looking for a victory here. Good coverage there by Cameron Crawford on that previous play based off that replay. 3rd down and 3 at the USC 34. Go Ducks. I would like to see Hill get some touches. You know, he definitely has a LeGarrette Blount type of frame and whatnot. Shotgun set, Dante Moore, pass complete, deep left, Malik Benson. Ooh, baby, 1st down, Oregon, 30-yard pass from Moore to Benson. And again, you might have Mayala at 11, but hey, we got Moore to Benson, baby. Let's go. Yeah, my buddy is an up-and-coming producer here in Oregon, so everything that you hear is in his catalog. Incredible talent. 1st down and 10, and we got an unsportsmanlike conduct here at the end of the game. 15-yard penalty. And again, it's definitely getting chippy. Words are being exchanged by both teams here. It definitely means a lot to both of these teams in this matchup, and it always has been a little chippy between these two teams. And Lanning is screaming at Benson to stop talking shit and just play. We need you out there. And again, Lanning in the right there. Noah Winnington rushing up the middle, and a gain of none. 2nd down and 10 at the USC 19. We need to be going forward. No self-inflicted wounds, baby. Lots of personal fouls, lots of extracurriculars there. And that definitely, I wouldn't say killed the momentum, but it definitely, made us take a step back rather than going a step forward. And hopefully we'll be able to get back into the groove here. Shotgun set. On 2nd down, Dante Moore, pass complete short right to Noah Winnington. 2-yard pass. 3rd down and 8 at the USC 17. .345 left and counting. 3rd down and 8 at the USC 17, 21-14 Oregon. Come on, Ducks. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Dante Moore, pass complete short middle to Noah Whittington again. Gentry with the coverage for USC. 4th down and 1 at the USC 10. What does Oregon do here? Kick the field goal, or do you end up going for it? Anytime you end up getting into a situation where you're in college football or the NFL, as long as you have a kicker that's healthy, that you trust, a lot of times you want to go for it and kick the field goal. But again, offenses nowadays, typically like to, challenge the defense, so to speak. And we got a 15-yard penalty here on a face mask. Golly. And now that's going to turn it in from 4th down and 1 to 3rd down and 23. Self-inflicted wounds here by Oregon. Come on now. 3rd down and 23. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Whittington rushing right. 6-yard gain. Gentry with the tackle. Linebacker for the Trojans. And now 4th down and 17 at the USC 26. Missed opportunity for the Ducks on this drive. If Benson could have just kept his mouth shut, then maybe we would have been able to punch it in for a touchdown to go up 28-14. But, again, you got to be able to control your emotions. Again, we were rivals, back in the Pac-10 and the Pac-12. And, again, the rivalry still exists here in the Big Ten. All right, Atticus Sappington going to come out, and hopefully Sappington will be able to get the job done. He was the MVP for us against Iowa with the game winner at the end, and it's a kicker that we do trust most of the time, but sometimes he will miss past 40 yards. 44-yard kick is up and no good. Wow. Hit the left upright, no good. But we got a flag on the play, and I think that might be on the Trojans. I think that's for leaping. This will be huge. This will be automatic first down for Oregon, which will lead to a touchdown for us, guaranteed, if that's the call. Let's see. Personal foul. Leaping. Let's go. Let's go. Huge. Wow. And we'll take that. 13-yard penalty for the leaping. And again, a lot of penalties here in the second quarter. First down and 10 at the USC 13. And it'll give us a chance to make up for some of our self-inflicted wounds by, talking shit a little bit too much. And also, with some issues with the O-line. But again, both centers were injured earlier in the game. And after Sappington ended up hitting that left upright, now we're not even thinking field goal. We're thinking tutties. We're talking touchdowns. Let's go. 4 penalties for 58 yards for the Trojans, 6 for 70 for Oregon. That's uncharacteristic for us. Shotgun set, Dante Moore on first down, rushing right, 9-yard gain. And a nice keeper there by Dante Moore, diving towards the pylon, but missing. Second down and 1 at the USC 4. And I would love for them to give Hill the ball here towards the goal line. I know he can get in, but so could Davison as well as Noah Whittington or Dante Moore. Unless you ended up wanting to go to Sadiq, you could go to him as well. Plenty of options for Oregon, but when you're on the 4, I would like to see them run the rock rather than throw it. You don't want a tipped pass to turn into an interception. Let's punch this in, baby. And we got the 2-minute warning, 21-14, Oregon. What a fun game. Very back and forth. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And if you're a mod or a regular, I can't do it by myself. Help your boy out. We're at 40 likes with 130 in the room. We should be able to get to 100 easily today if we can get some assistance by some of the regulars and mods in the room as well. Let's get it, baby. 21-14, Oregon. Gained another 5 subs since the last commercial break. 35 subs to get to 23,300. Let's get it, baby. And I've been a fan of the Ducks since the 80s. So, when I started watching, they were only winning a game or two, a year. And to be able to see what they've been able to come up with in the last 25 years, especially with the Joey Harrington era with, Mike Bellotti, it's definitely nice to see. But again, with all the helmet, jersey, pant, cleat combination, as well as gloves, when it comes down to that, that's all great and all, but we're hungry and thirsty for a natty. And again, if we can have Dan Lanning, be our coach for the next 5 to 10 years minimum, hopefully we'll be able to go to at least 1 or 2 in the next 5 to 10 years. And we may not win the first time that we go with Lanning, but hopefully we'll be able to get at least 1, before it's all said and done with him and his tenure here as an Oregon Duck head coach, even though he publicly has said he wants to be an Oregon Duck for life. Some people will say things like that and not mean it, but when Dan Lanning says it, I do truly believe he's genuine and he means it. Cool kid in the building. What's good? Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 21-14 Oregon with the 2-minute warning. Second down and 1 at the USC 4, and we are going to score here momentarily. And we got a false start there on Trent Ferguson on the line. Come on, baby. We got to be better. Self-inflicted wounds. We can't have that. And that's going to turn into 2nd down and 6 at the USC 9. Let's go, Ducks. Rockus in the building. What's good from Singapore? I love it. Let's go. Shotgun set. And a nice counter there. Push him in. They blew the whistle before he got pushed in, which is unfortunate because that would have been a touchdown. But he'll be down at like the 1 or the 2. 1st and goal at the 1. So one more run here by Whittington or Davison or Hill, and we'll be in there. And I don't know why they blew that whistle prematurely. They should have just let it happen. And timeout USC. And the Boo Birds come out because obviously we wanted that tutty, but one more play and we'll get it. I mean, especially when you see how long plays get extended in the NFL, so. But it should only take us 1 or 2 more plays here to punch it in. Number 7, Oregon Ducks up 21-14 against the number 15 USC Trojans. And again, it's definitely going to be a battle and a war in all 4 quarters. But hopefully we'll be able to extend our lead a little bit more here, and hopefully the defense will come up big like they did on the previous possession. 7 rushes for 46 yards. Give the ball to Hill. I mean, we've seen Whittington and we've seen, Davison, and here we go. Betcher, 1-yard gain, touchdown, Oregon. And they end up bringing in the linebacker, my favorite player on the Ducks, and they let him score offensively. Wow. Hand off to Betcher? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. And they probably were like, what is going on here with Betcher in the game? Direct snap to the linebacker. Touchdown, Oregon. Let's go. Unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen a linebacker get a touchdown on offense before, but here you are. Nice job by the Oregon Ducks with their arguably best player on D, Bryce Betcher. Touchdown, Oregon. Extra point up is good by Sappington. 28-14 Oregon. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Fantastic. And again, when you see a player like that in the game, you're probably a little confused. Again, I've seen like Warren Sapp, back in the day on the Buccaneers, coming in at, tight end and whatnot, and they would throw passes to him from being a D tackle, nose tackle, but you don't usually see a linebacker get an opportunity to be able to score, but that is so awesome to see. Love me some Betcher. 28-14 Oregon. Huge. Nice job, Bryce. We love you. 28-14, Oregon. Go Ducks. I got a custom DeAnthony Thomas jersey on right now with Mamba stitched on the back, his nickname. So I got a lot of jerseys in the closet since I have been a fan since the 80s. So, you know, I got Bo Nix, I got Justin Herbert, Marcus Mariota. I think a lot of my old school favorites, though, are like the LaMichael James, you know, from the Natty against Auburn. I got that one with the patch and obviously the name stitched on the back on that one as well. But I got the DeAnthony on here today. Love me some DeAnthony and LaMichael. And I got a Joey Harrington stitched, you know, jersey from, you know, early 2000s as well. So, I mean, a little bit of everything, a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense, kind of just depending on my mood. And Sappington kicks off 65 yards, touchback, first down and 10 at the USC 25. All right, we'll see what Mayava can do here in the last 2 minutes. Oregon up 28-14. No huddle, shotgun set. Mayava on first down and 10 at the USC 25. Pass incomplete to Jacoby Lane. Short left, incomplete. Second down and 10 at the USC 25. See if we can get some pressure here on Mayava. Crowd getting extremely loud there in Eugene. Makai Lemon with a touchdown pass. That was wild. Malik Benson with a punt return for a touchdown, 85 yards. That was wild. And a rushing TD by Betcher, which was wild. Shotgun set, no huddle. Mayava, deep right. Chinook Hines is there and caught. 51-yard pass. And again, the defender falls down for the Ducks, and that turns into quite a few more extra yak yards. First down and 10 at the Oregon 24. And that's one thing that you can't have is have your secondary, you know, corner or safety fall down, especially when it ends up being Hines, Lane, or Lemon that ends up getting these looks. Shotgun set, King Miller rushing up the middle and going backwards. Loss of 5. I'll take that. And timeout is called. Timeout, Oregon. .128 left here in the second quarter. 28-14 Oregon, baby. Let's go. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Mayava rushing right. And a nice 12-yard gain. First down. Almost there for the Trojans. 3rd down and 3 now at the Oregon 17 after a 2nd and 15 gain of 12. Very close. Clock running down, less than a minute 30 to go here before halftime. Oregon up 28-14 against the Trojans. 3rd down and 3 at the Oregon 17, and hopefully we can hold them to a field goal or nothing. No huddle, shotgun set, Mayava, pass complete short middle to Lake McCree. And that is first down, Trojans. 9-yard pass, first down and goal at the Oregon 8. Less than a minute to go here. About 52 seconds to go here before halftime. 28-14 Oregon. Shotgun set. Lemon rushing towards that left side and stopped by Kennedy. 2nd down and 8 at the Oregon 8. And timeout Oregon. Thieneman and company with the coverage. I love it. Came up big with the game-winning interception against Penn State in overtime. And again, look at that tackle. Let's go. Thieneman is a beast. Let's go, Dan. Let's go, Dante. Malik, you did your thing. Betcher, I see you. Oregon using their last timeout. See if Oregon's defense can step up here. Shotgun set. Lemon rushing to that right side of 2 yards. And actually a loss of 2 after the play gets completed there. Betcher and Mixon with the coverage. We'll take that. 3rd and goal at the Oregon 10 after that loss of 2. Kind of going in the wrong direction there, but Oregon's defense very fast. I mean, obviously you're getting more yards through the air than on the ground, and you would assume that that's where they would go is through the air. And for them to be going on the ground is a little odd, but, you know, timeout USC. We got 15 seconds left here before halftime, and a must-score situation for USC, especially if they're down by 14 already. Essentially, you got 2 plays that you can throw to get into the end zone, you would assume, if that's the route they go, unless they were willing to be patient enough to take the field goal and go 28-17. But we'll see if Lane Kiffin, has that type of personality at this point of the season before halftime to go that route or not. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and then Oregon, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama are your top 10. BYU, Utah, Miami, Vandy, and USC round out your top 15 in the college football playoff. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Mayava passing complete short left to Jacoby Lane. Broken up by Finney, and now it's 4th and goal at the Oregon 10. Let's go Ducks. And let's see what they decide to do here on 4th and goal. Do they take the field goal or do they go for the touchdown? And it looks like they're going to go for the field goal. That would be the smart move to go. Field goal attempt from 27 yards, a chip shot. No good. Wow. Upright hit by not only Sayeri, but also by Sappington, but they ended up having a penalty. Wow. And again, costly mistake there by USC. And now it's 28-14. And again, you know, when Sappington missed his, it was 44. How do you miss a field goal from 27? But again, I guess that's just how it goes in college football and the NFL. Nothing is a gimme anymore. Wow, that one hurts because they could have went for it on 4th down and maybe they would have gotten a touchdown. So for them to be able to try to take the easy points and then miss, that is very detrimental to their confidence going into halftime. And now we are going into half, 28-14 with a 2-touchdown lead as we go into halftime. Let's go. Great first half for Oregon. Mayava to Lemon for an 8-yard tutty to get the game started off, 7-0 USC. Oregon responds with Davison, 11-yard tutty, 7-7. Dante Moore to Kenyon Sadiq, the best tight end in the country, 14-7 Oregon in the first quarter. And then we go to the second quarter. Lemon passes to Hines on a trick play, tied it up 14-14 all. And then Johnson punted for USC. Malik Benson had an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown, making it 21-14 in the second quarter. And then Betcher, the linebacker, gets a chance to come in and score at the 1-yard line, which is very rare for any team, especially a linebacker to score a tutty. And we are sitting at a 28-14 lead here at halftime. I love it. Go 56-0 Odin. Oh man, what a blowout. All right, we're at 50 likes. We're halfway to our goal. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Every dollar counts. We're at 50 likes, 50 to go. Great job by Dan Lanning and Dante Moore. Great job by Malik Benson. And a great job by Bryce Betcher, baby. Let's go. Rodrigo in the building. What's good? I'm going to go check up on my pup here real quick, make sure that she is okay. And we'll be back into the action here in a few minutes. 28-14, Oregon Duck lead. Let's go. All right, checked up on the pup. She's doing good. And they're going over some of the highlights here. Notre Dame just crushing Syracuse. Wow, 56-0. Odin loves that. Now we got Miami and Virginia Tech highlights being shown. Ooh, what a catch. Ooh, nice floater. Wow. Malachi Toney, I see you. Michigan and Maryland, they were knotted up at 7 earlier. Ooh, what a catch. Yeah, and we know, Syracuse isn't really the greatest team, year in and year out. So, I mean, they've had some guys in the past that have been notable names, like Donovan McNabb and, Carmelo Anthony and whatnot from, football and basketball. But as of late, not really the same type of, team than maybe when McNabb was playing. (28-14) Oregon. We got Missouri and Oklahoma. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at the speed. Holy cow. That was like maybe back in the Bob Stoops era, having plays like that. A little bit low scoring, 17-6 for Oklahoma, but they'll take that as they improved to 9-2. Oh, Cougar highlights. Let me see. Washington State versus James Madison. You would assume that the Cougars could win this game, but you never know. Obviously, they haven't really had the season that they would want. Same thing with the Beavers being in the Pac-12 as they rebuild. Wow, James Madison beating the Cougs. Wow. They improved to 10-1. Washington State drops to 5-6. No worries, TJ. We're at 50. Last time I checked, we got 50 to go. So looking for our first dono on our dono train. looking forward to some NFL action tomorrow as well. Might be a tough one for the Buccaneers. It'll be a trap game for the Rams, but hopefully we'll be able to find a way to get a victory. But if not, the Buccaneers schedule after that has 6 winnable games. So even if they end up dropping, this game to the Rams and having the hardest schedule out of any NFL team in 2 months, it'll definitely get to the point where it might be the easiest schedule in the last, 6 games. And, hopefully we'll be able to get to that 12-win number. And if we win against the Rams, we could end up getting to 13. But again, we just got to take it one game at a time. And then I am looking forward to the Panthers and Niners on Monday. Panthers haven't been on, prime time all year. Rico Dowdle has been a top 5 running back this year. Bryce Young looks a hell of a lot better. McCaffrey going against his former team. And, a lot of people thinking, oh, the Niners are going to run away with it. But Carolina could win that game. And I think that's what makes it exciting. And again, even though they are a divisional rival to the Buccaneers, it wouldn't really hurt my feelings if they ended up winning that game. Now, when we play them twice at the end of the year, obviously I want to clip them, twice if possible. But again, we might end up splitting with that team. You never know. Notre Dame put the backup in 44-100. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate you. What's going on, TJ and Odin? What's new with you guys? Anything? Halftime, 28-14. Ducks are up. And again, fantastic performance coaching-wise with Dan Lanning. Quarterback play with Dante Moore. Malik Benson stepping up in the receiving game, as well as getting that, big special teams touchdown, which you don't see that often. And Betcher, my favorite player on the team, our linebacker, getting in with a 1-yard rushing touchdown on a direct snap, which is awesome. I mean, normally when you end up seeing something like that, it might end up being a different type of player, not usually a linebacker. But again, we'll take it. Whole Thanksgiving week off. Nice. Yeah, my favorite holiday. And again, we will be doing, Thanksgiving stream late at night, which will be the Bengals and the Ravens for that last game. And then we also will be streaming on Christmas as well for the last game, which will be the Chiefs and the Broncos. So I'm looking forward to it. Spending a little time with the family, and with the food. I get a chance to, on the day before Thanksgiving here on Wednesday, I get to meet up with my best friend, which I only see like once a month. So we're going to hit up this really big arcade that's 2 stories downtown, and we'll try to beat some games, maybe Ninja Turtles or Sunset Riders, X-Men, a little NBA Jam, NBA Hang Time, NFL Blitz, a little Star Wars, Cruising USA, a little bit of everything. And then after that, we'll probably get something to eat. There's a really good chicken spot called Bay's here in Oregon. Incredible fried chicken and awesome sides like mac and cheese, homemade, and everything else. Amazing. So we'll probably do that, and then we'll go to the Blazer game. Unfortunately, Wemby, hurt again. We had tickets to see him last year, and he got hurt right before the game. And again, we got tickets this year. He got hurt again, like a week before the game, which is very unfortunate. But eventually, the sports gods will allow us to watch Wemby in person. And looking forward to, the Blazers, who actually came off a huge victory last night against the Warriors. A great team effort. Caleb Love, I see you. And hopefully that will go well for the Blazers against the Spurs. We should be able to find a way to get that dub. And then going into Thanksgiving, we get a chance to be able to see my my dad and my stepmom and my stepsister. So that'll be cool. Don't get to see them that often. And then looking forward to taking home some leftovers for later on, Thursday night and also Friday, and maybe even enough leftovers for Saturday. So, it's nothing like making a, turkey sandwich with a little bit of the gravy and, you got the rolls and the stuffing and everything else. Love the pie, when you can end up getting a little cherry and apple. And I don't really think that pumpkin is a top pie for me, but again, I will eat, pumpkin pie when it's Thanksgiving. I mean, if that's what's there, I'll happily oblige. So yeah, Simpsons arcade game is there. We've beaten that. We usually beat one game every time that we go, and it's kind of like a credit card, debit card, where you end up putting money in, you get a card, you scan it, and then you can just scan the card instead of actually putting in coins. A lot of arcades don't work like that anymore, and we've beaten Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sunset Riders, X-Men, pretty much anything that you can think of. If you can beat it multiplayer, we try to end up beating a game, and it might cost us $5 to $10, maybe $15 to beat a game, but it ends up being a clutch memory. And we've beaten it with Homer and Bart, and then we also beat it with Marge and Lisa. So we like to be able to kind of round out the games if there's other characters and whatnot. So yeah, Bart skateboard, deadly. Lemon meringue. But the thing is about lemon meringue and Boston cream, those aren't really Thanksgiving pies. I mean, unless it's a tradition that you and your family do, but I've never had a lemon meringue or a Boston cream pie for Thanksgiving, but hell, maybe they should. Usually it's like apple, pumpkin, and then if you're lucky, maybe cherry, and then obviously I like cheesecake, but I don't know if that's really necessarily Thanksgiving. That's just something that, like, if someone brings it and it's extra and whatnot. But cheesecake is the favorite cake, but I'll definitely be doing a lot of apple, and then I guess if pumpkin is there, I'll take a slice or two. So Dave & Buster's, GameWorks. Yeah, we got one in Salem that's pretty big, and then they got the biggest pinball arcade in like Hillsboro, one of the biggest in the nation. And then we got a place called Ground Control, control spelled with a K, and it's 2 stories. And I remember years ago, it was just 1 story. And then they ended up buying out the other building and then making it 2 stories. And they actually have customized all the arcade machines with drink holders. So that way, if you want to drink a beer or a mixed drink, you can put it there on the actual arcade itself. And then you can take sips while you play, which is kind of cool. So definitely looking forward to eating well, playing some games, spending time with my best friend, and then obviously, hopefully watching the Blazers beat the Spurs, and then seeing family, and then we'll still be able to grind it out on the late stream for the NFL on Thanksgiving and the late stream on Christmas as well. We don't really take a whole lot of days off, so. So what is GameWorks like? Oh, so it's no longer there. That sucks. I mean, obviously there's been like places like Wonderland, back in the day, but they didn't really have a great selection, 5-cent games, 10-cent games, and a lot of Wonderlands are non-existent, at this point. But, at one point they ended up having some like good arcade games. I remember playing Mortal Kombat there and, Killer Instinct and a few other games. So, and we're just waiting for halftime here to end. 2-story arcade, those are the best. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, they don't have anything like that, down there, but they have some like newer arcade games, like some newer versions of like Time Crisis and other games, that are kind of like Rambo styled, where you have like a gun with you, or you're going through the levels and whatnot, and they have different pedals that you can step on to like duck and to be able to like lean over and whatnot. So a lot of the arcades, at least here in Oregon, have old school stuff, from the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, but also they have arcade games that are new, within the last 5 years, which is pretty cool. They have a newer Ninja Turtle game that's based on more of like the Nickelodeon cartoon that they had a few years back. So the graphics are, pretty high end, but it definitely costs a lot to play, but it's fun. And it looks like we just got a couple minutes to go, and we will be back here in the second half. Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, a lot of memories there too. Yeah, but a lot of those are gone as well. But yeah, but the Ground Control is dope too. Yeah, I like the old school stuff, whether it be Cruising USA, Cruising World, Star Wars. I love Hydro Thunder, when you're like, racing on a hovercraft and when you bounce on the water, you kind of feel it. So racing games, multiplayer games, and I like games that we can like play together and beat, old school X-Men that had like 5 or 6 joysticks. So you can actually play with strangers and like try to end up beating the game. And and then obviously you have like side-scrolling shooters like Sunset Riders where you're like cowboys and you can go up and down the level, kind of like Contra from back in the day. Very cool. And some of those games from even the late 80s, early 90s, they still hold up, even to this day. I think the only gripe that I have is that they don't have any wrestling games, like WrestleFest. That's one of the best games in the arcade. And I love NBA Jam, NBA Hang Time, NFL Blitz. And usually they'll have like a combo machine of both of those games into one. Like right when NFL Hang Time and NFL Blitz were at the very end of their run, they ended up making a dual arcade. And so you have a lot of the updated rosters, better graphics. And again, if I was rich, I definitely would own a game like that. But yeah, they have a really dope Star Wars multiplayer game that you can play at this ground control as well. And it's usually the first game that me and my buddy play. We're big into Star Wars. So, but it's pretty challenging where you're like flying through space and whatnot. And, you have to obviously hit the blasters at the right time and everything. And sometimes you end up advancing in the levels and sometimes you don't. But pretty fun game though. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, ground control, and control is spelled with a K. So you can do ground control with a K, and then it's just Portland, Oregon. And then if you type that in, it'll probably, I assume, we'll have something in there. There's got to be people, either on YouTube or even maybe on their website, they would probably be able to show. But lots of games. I can't even tell you how many that are there, a couple hundred maybe. I mean, it is 2 stories, so. And then every once in a while, I'm not a huge pinball guy, but if I see something cool, like a Stranger Things pinball machine, I'll play, or something old school like Terminator 2, I'll play that, or Ninja Turtles, I'll play that, and whatnot. And, obviously I won't be doing that for a long period of time, but, a little bit, couple dollars worth, to get the full experience. But a lot of breweries, a lot of dispensaries, a lot of wineries. I mean, there's a lot of everything, in that general area too. So. Star Wars with the joystick, yeah. Right. At least for the first, where you feel pretty confident, you're like, oh, I'm good at this. And until you end up like, you end up starting the game off and then the ball goes up and then all of a sudden it goes right in the middle and your joystick, no matter how you tap it left or right or at the same time, it goes right down the middle. And then you feel like cheated. It's like, how many times can that happen in a pinball game before you give up, and stuff. But eventually, if you can find the right rhythm, you can, with practice, you can make a little bit of noise with that, depending on how good you are, reflexes and whatnot. Sayeri with the kickoff, 65 yards as Oregon gets the ball here in the second half. Not ideal if you're a Trojan fan, and we're up by 14. Ooh, Kiss. Yeah, I played a Kiss one before as well. The old band ones are very dope. Ooh, Gauntlet Legends. Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. Nice. All right, second half is underway. Yeah, and again, it's like, I don't do a whole lot of gaming. My most played system nowadays is PS2. Sometimes Nintendo 64 or original Nintendo and whatnot. But I like playing Vice City still, believe it or not. And a lot of the reasons why I like Vice City is because of the music while you cruise around, whether you're just cruising or doing missions. So. All right, here we go. Shotgun set. Hill rushing to the right side for a 6-yard gain. We didn't really see a lot of De'Aaron Hill Jr., which he kind of reminds me of a LeGarrette Blount. He's kind of got a more of a halfback, fullback type of, kind of stature. And again, he's got a lot of power. Hopefully they'll be able to give him some looks here. 2nd down and 4. Dante Moore pass incomplete to Kenyon Sadiq, the best tight end in the country. 3rd down and 4 at the Oregon 31. $42 to Hundo. Let's get there, baby. Now that ball went up for Sadiq. And no huddle here. Shotgun set. Dante Moore passing complete to Noah Whittington. 4th down and 4 at the Oregon 31. And that's just a big hit there on Sadiq on the previous play. Incomplete. And not exactly the drive that you wanted after halftime. Obviously, best case scenario, you march down the field and, you get the job done. But you got offsides there on USC on 3rd down and 4. That turns into 4th down, and that is going to be an automatic 1st down, even after that pass was incomplete to Whittington towards the sideline. We'll take a self-inflicted wound by the Trojans. Thank you so much, Lucas. 1st down and 10 now at the Oregon 36. We were going to punt there. Thank you, Anthony Lucas. I mean, maybe if USC was at home, maybe their defense would have played a little bit better, feeding off the crowd. But, when you're in Eugene, it's not an easy place to play. So one of the hardest places to play in college football. There's no doubt about that. Shotgun set with the no huddle. Dante Moore pass complete short left to De'Aaron Hill Jr. 5-yard gain. 2nd down and 5 here for Oregon. Quick huddle. Shotgun set, and Jordan Davison rushing up the middle for a 3-yard gain. 3rd down and 2 at the Oregon 44. See if we can get this 1st down on 3rd down and 2. 28-14 Oregon. And then we got the Huskies next week on the road in Seattle, which will be a trap game for Oregon, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. Shotgun set, Dante Moore. Pass complete, short right to Kenyon Sadiq. Go, baby. 1st down, Ducks. 16-yard pass from Moore to Sadiq. Move the chains. 1st down and 10 at the USC 40. Let's go. We got a penalty on Oregon. McClellan with holding. Come on, McClellan, you bum. – 16-yard gain gets negated there after that hold. I mean, it's one thing when you can't catch and you're like 5th string wide receiver, but then also when you're holding and you're doing penalties. Come on, McClellan. I mean, there was just no need for McClellan to be grabbing like that. Sadiq will run an opponent over. He's the best tight end in the country. He doesn't need you to hold, for 10 seconds for him to get a 1st down. All right, Davison rushes up the middle for a 1-yard gain, and it wasn't a 1st down, and now it ends up turning in after that penalty with the McClellan play. Now it's going to be 4th down and 1 at the Oregon 45. It was 3rd and 2, and that turns into 4th and 1. Didn't really get any blocking from the O-line on that last play, which was unfortunate. when it comes out unblocked. All right, we need a yard here. Let's see if they try to draw him off sides with a hard count or if they actually are going for it. Oh, that's close. Helmet comes off for one of the Oregon players. Did we get the first down? Wow. I think he got the first down, but let's see what they decide to give him here. I mean, after forward progress and he gets pushed back, he got the first down, but we'll see what they decide to call here. And it wasn't that much past a yard. I mean, we're talking a yard to get the first down, and that's it. He didn't get 2. He didn't even get 1.5. He got 1, but let's see what the refs call. Nice little direct snap, a little trickery here by Dan Lanning and Will Stein. But you can see based on where his body is and the ball, he's over the first down line. Or maybe he didn't. Let's see. Wow, they didn't make it. Unbelievable. Curious to see if they're going to replay that there as well. But for the time being, a great stop there by the Trojans, down by 14. And we're going to a commercial break now. (28-14), 12:08 left in the third quarter. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. $42 to go. Let's get it, baby. All right, just waiting for the commercial break to end, which you seem to have quite a few in college football. Gained a couple more subs since the last commercial break. 33 subs to go to 23,300. All right, first down and 10 at the Oregon 45 after that 4th down and 1 conversion by Saliapaga ended up getting stuffed. Shotgun set, and King Miller rushing up the middle, no gain. Second down and 10 at the Oregon 45. Quick huddle. Shotgun set. Mayava. Pass and complete short right to Makai Lemon. 3rd down and 10 at the Oregon 45. I mean, we can hold them to nothing on this drive, which would be excellent. Betcher is an amazing talent for the Ducks. And shotgun set on 3rd down and 10 at the Oregon 45. Mayava, pass and complete short middle to Lake McCree. And that now turns into 4th down and 10 at the Oregon 45. So both teams a little rusty coming out of the tunnel here in the second half for Oregon and USC after obviously combining for 42 points in the first half, 28-14 Duck lead. And we already had a missed field goal by both, but it ended up getting overturned for the Ducks because of a penalty by USC. But again, a chip shot missed by obviously USC's kicker, and again, could be 28-17 right now if he was able to make that before the first half ended. Fourth down and 10, and the Trojans are going for it. All right, come on, Ducks. 4th down and 10 at the Oregon 45. USC going for it. Intercepted. Let's go. Canady. Let's go. Let's go. Another interception by Mayava. We love it, baby. That's what happens when you go for it on 4th down and 10 on Oregon, baby. Let's go. Big interception by Oregon. Let's go, baby. Huge. 28-14 Oregon. And again, when you're going to be playing Oregon on the road in Eugene, you can't throw interceptions. You can't have fumbles. You got to try to be able to get a pick six, a fumble for a touchdown, a punt return, kick return for a touchdown. You're going to need something extra, and obviously you need a balanced offense. You need to run the ball, pass the ball, and defend well, just like Indiana did against Oregon, and that's why we lost to them this year. Also it helps when you're top 10 in offense, defense, and special teams, and Indiana was the only team in the country that was top 10 in all three at the point when we played them. So again, we understand how good Ohio State and Indiana are this year, but again, Oregon, is in that same type of category in the top 7. And hopefully if we can hang on to the victory today, we can climb up into the standings, maybe a couple more spots. Great interception there on Mayava, and let's see if we can get a touchdown here to open up our lead. Let's go. Jason in the building. What's good? Yeah, Autzen playoff game would be great. But obviously, if we can't get our wide receivers healthy, I'm not sure how good we would be able to do, as far as like a deep run. I love the Ducks. I've been following them since the 80s, for a long, long time. But again, we're going to need, DeCorian Moore. We're going to need Evan Stewart. We're going to need Gary Bryan Jr. And, I feel like our defense, for the most part, can hang with pretty much anybody in the country. But offensively, if we go against a tough opponent like the Buckeyes or the Hoosiers again, we're going to need everyone on offense to be available. If not, I don't know if we can beat teams like that. Like, I feel that we're a very, very good team, this year. But again, with injuries, it definitely can scale you back slightly. But again, we are hopefully, trending in the right direction from some of those offensive wide receiver injuries, so that way we don't have to have guys like fucking McClellan out there who's like normally fifth string and now got promoted to third, just because we don't have anybody fucking else. And again, Benson is doing great. And you have a few of the other guys. We got, obviously a three-headed horse at running back, and you got Kenyon Sadiq, the best tight end in the game, but you want a little bit more receiving-wise. So, yeah, and again, for me to say that, and I think Ducks fans to admit it, we might not be a championship, natty, team this year, but again, all we can do is just take care of business one game at a time and see where the chips fall. And if we're lucky enough, maybe we will, be in the natty. But if not, it's still going to be a great year. But ultimately, the goal, is to get to the natty and win. But, I do like this team better than last year's team. I like Dante Moore more than Dylan Gabriel. Shotgun set, 5-yard run there by Noah Whittington. First down, Oregon. There we go. Desmond Stevens a second with coverage there for the Trojans. 28-14 Oregon. It's been a lot of fun watching and covering this team, for you guys here this year. But, defense is legit. There's no doubt about that. The really only questions I have is O-line and wide receivers. So, as well as Will Stein, offensive coordinator, calling plays. Sometimes does a great job. Sometimes does kind of a suspect, terrible job. But again, so far so good here, with our OC, calling the plays. First down and 10 at the Oregon 46. Moore. Intercepted. Wow. And Urlacher is going. Tackle him. Interception for an interception in the first pick for Dante Moore. And there's a flag on the play. Nice job there by Kennedy Urlacher. Holding on the Trojans on number 1 after the pick, though, of course. And great job by Kennedy Urlacher. Obviously, we haven't heard that name besides, obviously, Brian in quite some time, but he tipped it to himself. Great athleticism by Kennedy. And again, let's see if the defense can step up after one interception leads to another. Ten-yard return there by Kennedy Urlacher after the tutty, or the interception, excuse me. First down and 10, shotgun set, King Miller rushing to the left side for a 2-yard gain. Second down and 8 at the 50. Bear Alexander, the former Trojan, with the tackle. .9:45 and counting left here in the third. 28-14 Ducks. Beautiful weather there in Eugene here today. Screen pass and close to a first down there. Mayava to Lemon, and it looks like they're going to give them the first down. First down and 10 at the Oregon 41. Mayava started off 12 for 19, 152 yards and 1 tutty. Since then, 3 for 9 with 2 picks. Mayava, pass incomplete, short left to Lane. But we got a penalty here. Pass interference by Finney, and that's going to be an automatic first down here for the Trojans. Come on, Oregon. Can't have self-inflicted wounds like this. Not really sure if that ball was catchable, but let's look at the whole route to see where the hold took place. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that definitely is a penalty there on Finney. No question about it. You can't grab that long and kind of drag him down. I mean, both players kind of slipped towards the end, but 100% penalty on Oregon. Shotgun set for Jaden Mayava, rushing towards the right side for about 5-6 yards. Second down and 4 at the Oregon 20. .8:28 left here in the third. 28-14 Oregon. Come on, defense. We got to step up. No huddle. Shotgun set. Mayava. Pass complete. Short left to Makai Lemon. Arguably the best wide receiver in college football this year. 1 yard gain. Third down now and 3. Shotgun set. King Miller rushing to the right side for a 1 yard gain. And obviously they're not able to really effectively run the ball, USC here today. And that turns in now into 4th down and 2 at the Oregon 18. And their kicker missed a chip shot early right before the first half. So I don't know if they're going to be going for any field goals the rest of the way. And obviously you're not getting a whole lot of rushing yards out of King Miller. It seems like 1 to 3 yards every time he touches the ball, which isn't very often. Let's see what they decide to do here now. 4th down and 2. Mayava rushing in the middle. 8 yard gain out of bounds. First down, Oregon. Nice 8 yard run there by Jaden Mayava. 1st and goal at the Oregon 10. Less than 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. USC is threatening. Ducks up by 14. 28-14 here in the third. Nice bounce to the outside there by Jaden Mayava. And now 1st down and 10 at the Oregon 11. Shotgun set. And Brian Jackson rushing to the right side for a 3 yard gain. 2nd down and 7 at the Oregon 8. Come on, Ducks. Obadegu with that big hit. 3rd down and 4 at the Oregon 5. Come on, Ducks. Laying the wood out there on defense. Come on, Ducks. Shotgun set. Mayava, short right. Makai Lemon, touchdown, Trojans. And again, Lemon, 2 touchdowns in the air and obviously 1 throwing. Lemon is a superstar, and a great job there by Mayava and Lemon. And now we have a 28-20 game. Big clutch. 3rd down and 3 converted for a tutty. Nice job there by Lemon. Extra point is up by Sari, and it is good. 28-21 Oregon. What a fun one. Definitely a battle and a war between the Trojans and the Ducks. (28-21), Oregon up by 7, 5:48 left in the third quarter as we go to a commercial break. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the Dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it. Bang, bang. 33 subs away from 23,300. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 32 subs now to 23,300. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Let's go, baby. Nice 4-yard touchdown pass there by Mayava to Lemon. And now it's Oregon's turn to get on the scoring column here in the third quarter. Sierra kicks off, 65 yards. Fair caught. First down and 10 at the Oregon 25. USC players hyped up on the sideline. (70-0) Notre Dame over Syracuse, huh? Wow. Shotgun set on first down. Whittington rushing towards that right side. 13-yard gain. First down, Oregon. First down and 10 at the Oregon 38. Let's go. Keep moving them chains. Good blocking there on that last play as well. Nice, great 13-yard run there by Noah Whittington. Looking forward to Thanksgiving next week. Looking forward to Stranger Things Season 5. It's going to be an amazing week next week for sure. Shotgun set. Noah Whittington rushing up the middle for a 5-yard gain. Second down and 5 at the Oregon 43. Let's go. Points allowed in the last 3 games, 3 against Nebraska, 3 against Northwestern, 0 against Iowa. But again, this is Oregon, a little bit different of competition than those 3, besides Iowa, of course. Second down and 5. Shotgun set, Dante Moore, pass complete, short right to Jeremiah McClellan. 10-yard pass, first down, Ducks. Move the chains. There we go, Jeremiah. Very back and forth battle that's turning into a war here. Shotgun set. De'Ara Hill Jr. rushing to the left side. A fabulous freshman. We got the 2 best running back freshmen in the country. 11-yard gain by De'Ara Hill Jr. Love him. Christian Pierce with the tackle from the Trojans. First down and 10 at the USC 36. Move the chains. First down, Oregon. Shotgun set, no huddle. Hill again, rushing up the middle for a 4-yard gain. Gentry and Stevens there for the tackle. Second down and 6 at the USC 32. 28-21 Oregon lead with about 3:30 to go here in the third quarter. Crazy, the college football season is really coming down to the wire now. You know, one more regular season week and that's it. And then you got your championship, games for the conferences, and then you end up having the college football playoffs. So second down and 6 at the USC 32. Ducks up by 7, 28-21. Shotgun set. Whittington rushing up the middle for about a 4-yard gain. Third down and 2 at the USC 28. A dub is a dub, though, so. We got an offensive lineman hobbling for the Ducks. That's not good. And he's trying to make it to the sideline, but, ends up hobbling. And that's Harkey there, and he was already injured earlier this season. Hopefully he's okay. 3 starters down for the Ducks on the O-line. Luckily, we have some depth, but not as much as we would like. Let's see what happens here with Harkey if he gets landed on. Helmet to the back of the leg. We had a leg whip on our center earlier from the Trojans, and then a helmet to the back of the leg there on Harkey, our O-line stud. Hopefully he's okay. Commercial break after the injury. 2:41 left in the third quarter. 28-21 Oregon lead. Third down and 2. Crucial third down coming up at the USC 28. So get some of the other scores here in college football while we're waiting. Notre Dame 70, Syracuse 0. Is that good? Vanderbilt 45, Kentucky 10, and they just scored again, 51-10 now on Kentucky. Texas up 38-23. Looks like Arch Manning can only win when they play shitty teams. Tulane 26, Temple 7. Utah and Kansas State battling it out, 34-31. Utah with the 3-point lead in the third quarter. Michigan up 35-13 on Maryland. Houston and TCU tied up at 14, and then later today we got Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech. Tennessee and Florida, Illinois and Wisconsin, BYU and Cincinnati, Arizona State and Colorado, and then a couple other finals. Ohio State 42, Rutgers 9, final. Oklahoma 17, Missouri 6, final. 34-17, Miami beating Virginia Tech. Georgia winning 35-3 over Charlotte. Bama 56-0 over Eastern Illinois. And then A&M 48-0 over Samford. And, kind of makes you wonder why we have such easy schedules for certain teams and much more difficult schedules for others. But, it is what it is. Let's go Ducks. Finish strong here. Oh, Notre Dame in the highlight reel again, huh? Let's go. 70-0 Notre Dame beating Syracuse up. It's going to be a tough ride home for the Syracuse football team, let me tell you. They got Harkey on the sideline going into the medical tent. Hopefully he's okay after that helmet got him in the back of the leg. All right, Powers is coming in. Now we got 3rd down and 2. D'Amico Rogers. And here we go. Dante Moore. Deep pass. Kenyon Sadiq. Touchdown. Oregon. Back. Let's go. Let's go. The best tight end in the country scores again, and that's 2 for Kenyon Sadiq. 28-yard touchdown pass by Dante Moore to Kenyon Sadiq, baby. You'll be seeing him playing on Sundays 100%. Let's go. Double covered, no problem. Look at Sadiq. And again, it's a nightmare matchup for anybody. Just a go route. Gets popped again. No problem. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Touchdown, Oregon. Atticus Sappington. Extra point is up. And it is good. 35-21 Ducks, baby. Let's go. Glad that we actually have, a stud tight end, considering all the injuries that we have at wide receiver. It definitely evens things out with no DeCorian Moore and Gary Bryant Jr. and Evan Stewart. So awesome job. 35-21 Oregon. Best case scenario, that big touchdown, and we got it. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be quite a few teams other than, we already have Cade Otton, on the Buccaneers, but obviously, if we were lucky enough to draft a guy, like that, but I think we have, some other needs, and whatnot, but Sadiq is going to be a good player in the NFL. 36 to a hundo. Let's get it, baby. And Sappington kicks off, and Lemon returns for a loss of 2. Kind of a weird squib kind of kick here. And Sappington slipped on that kickoff. That's the reason why it looked so ugly there on TV. 1st down and 10 at the USC 18. Yeah, he slid right through it. That was not planned. And that was a live ball. If Oregon would have landed on it, that would have been Oregon ball. So they're all giving him some shit on the sidelines like, dude, you fell down. But at least he ended up getting a good kick, even though off him falling down on his ass. Shotgun set in the no huddle. Mayava, pass complete, short middle to Lake McCree. 13-yard pass. 1st down, Trojans. 1st down and 10, USC 31. 35-21, Oregon lead by 14 with less than 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Lemon, Hines, and Lane very active for USC, but the problem for USC is they need a Reggie Bush, type of running back. Lendale White, they need a stud running back to kind of even out this game, and unfortunately they don't have one. 2nd down and 7, Mayava, pass incomplete, short right to Makai Lemon. 3rd down and 7 at the USC 34. We've already picked off Mayava twice, which is fantastic, and we're definitely going to be looking for the trifecta because, again, when they run the ball with King Miller, you're only getting 1 to 3 yards. So really the best option for USC running the ball actually might be their quarterback, Mayava, but again, they can't have him running the ball, 10 times today. 18 for 32, 239 yards, 2 tutties, and 2 picks for Maava. Third down and 7. Man in motion. Shotgun set for Maava. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for sack lunch, a fumble. And the fumble recovery ends up getting recovered by one of the offensive linemen there. I think it was number 74 in the right place at the right time. Wow. Oh, wow. He almost punched the football out and landed on it. Great opportunity there by Oregon, almost with the turnover, but, again, shows you how good, the Oregon Ducks are on defense this year. Great job. And now Sam Johnson with the punt, 42 yards, and that's fair caught by Malik Benson, and that's a big, big stop right there. I mean, obviously it would have been better to poke the football out and land on it, and he almost did. But again, we'll take the punt here and see if we can get another touchdown to add on to our point total. We got a flag on the play. Let's see if they call roughing or running into the kicker here. Running into the kicker is declined. Now, if it was roughing the kicker, that would have been automatic first down for the Trojans, and that's exactly what they were hoping for, but and that's going to be the end of the third quarter, 35-21 Oregon. And again, we have a trap game against the Huskies. We will be doing that next weekend on Saturday. They haven't given us a time on when that game is going to be, but we will be live streaming that and every Oregon game the rest of the way. And also, some other college football teams, especially once we get into the championship weekend, as well as, the bowl games on top of the college football playoff. So we'll definitely be busy here, not only doing Oregon, but other games as well. It'll be a lot of college football, a lot of NFL, and then, down the road, not sure if we really have an audience for NBA or NHL, and maybe we'll end up doing maybe something Mariners related, just to kind of fill in the, kind of the gaps on some of the weeks, if we have any thing to really go over. Obviously, Josh Naylor re-signing was great, but again, we're still waiting to see who else gets re-signed, if any, like Jorge Polanco. But, I feel like maybe we would have a bigger audience if we ended up doing like Mariners, just talking about them for an hour here and there, or two. But, we'll have to kind of wait and see. And Davison rushes up the middle for a 5-yard gain at the end of the third quarter. Urlacher there with the tackle. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter, 35-21 Oregon, as we go to a commercial break. Defensive delay a game. Yeah, Gino's not coming back to the Mariners. I mean, really the only other guy, other than Naylor that we should, be considered, not necessarily like we need him 100%, but it would be nice to get him is Jorge Polanco. Everyone else, obviously, can do their own thing, and again, we appreciated what Gino brought, with Naylor and, had a few, moments, but, based off the money, and a guy that can hit a bunch of home runs, 30 to 50, but definitely strikes out way too much, and his defense, obviously isn't what it used to be. So, I love me some Gino, but, I would say more than likely 99.999% he is, going somewhere else, because I don't think that we have the money to pay him. And honestly, if we were going to pay someone, either Gino or Polo, I would rather pay Polo. So, I mean, Ben Williamson is never going to hit 50 home runs in a season, but he's better at defense. And if we can just get him, to hit, 10 to 20 homers in a season, closer to 15 to 20, that would be enough, based off his good defense. Now, if he ends up hitting under 10, that might be a problem. Again, it's like we already got guys like Cole Young and, who doesn't really homer. And then you got Ben Williamson. And then obviously we have Colt Emerson, who probably could hit more than those other two. But, we'll kind of wait and see how it all progresses and plays out. So, I don't know if we're going to finish in the top 4. I mean, based on the voters and whatnot, I don't know about that. I mean, we might have a chance, depending on, all the other matchups, we might naturally be able to move up into the top 5. But again, I don't know. That's a good question. We're definitely, I feel, a top 5 team. Right now we're ranked 7th. But again, we will have to kind of wait and see how things progress. So, but I mean, it does feel like Oregon should be in the college football playoff, and, Ohio State is amazing. Indiana, the Hoosiers are amazing. And you got a few other teams ahead of us that are amazing, but again, if we can just get healthy, at wide receiver and O-line, I would like our chances almost against anybody this year. Even though we did lose to the Hoosiers, they beat us up, and, they kind of have the formula. So, second down and 5. Davison rushes towards that left side, and that is a good tackle by Desmond Stevens II. Loss of 4 by Davison. Third down and 9 at the Oregon 34 as we're in the fourth quarter. (35-21), Oregon up by 14 here in the fourth quarter. But again, we can't let up. We got to keep putting our foot on the gas, especially with Mayava and Lemon. They have a great connection. Third down and 9 at the Oregon 34. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Oh, fumble. And then Moore gets it and gets tackled. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? A Trojan sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And again, both teams, I believe, are still using backup centers. And again, that's on Dante Moore for, maybe looking down slightly and just, actually, no, that was on Whittington. They ran the RPO right there, and Whittington, as he had the football out, it kind of hit his side, and then that caused the fumble. So, loss of 12 on that. And Lemon, after the punt, gains about 4. And now it's first down and 10 with good field position for the Trojans at the USC 42. Not a very good drive there by Oregon. We're off to another commercial break. All right, Dante. Let's go, Dan. Let's get it done. Let's go, Betcher. We need you. And we might need Malik Benson to come up with another big play before this one is over. Let's go, Ducks. 35-21, Oregon. All right, we're at 63 likes, 37 to go to hit goal, and we got over 100 in the room. We can just get a fraction of those individuals that are in the room to hit that like button. That'll get us there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it. Bang, bang. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Gained another sub since our last commercial break. 31 subs do 23,300. Let's get it. Yeah, unfortunately, Odin, the Heisman will go to a quarterback this year. But love is great. There's no doubt about that. First down and 10 at the USC 42. Shotgun set on the no huddle. Mayava. Pass incomplete. Deep left to Makai Lemon. Incomplete. Second down and 10 at the USC 42. And we got a flag coming out. PI on Oregon again. Canada. Come on, Canada. Let's take a look to see what happened here. I'm not really sure if that was PI on the first replay. That looked kind of minimal, if you ask me. There was little minor push-offs by both, but I don't know about that. That didn't really look like a PI to me. A couple of the other ones in the first half, 100% were PI. That's one where you could pick up, where it kind of feels like they're, catering to USC to kind of come back here. First down and 10. And another flag. Jesus Christ, dude. How many flags are they going to throw here? And then another PI by Oregon. Okay. I guess that's what they're going to do. They're just going to throw PI, huh? And obviously Oregon's DBs need to be a little bit more disciplined, but they called him out of bounds, but did he catch this ball first? Oh, he's out of bounds. Shotgun set, and King Miller running up the middle for his regular 1 to 3 yards, 2-yard gain. Second down and 8 at the Oregon 26. Well, if Lincoln Riley sucked, they wouldn't be 8-2. So, and they wouldn't be 15th in the nation. So, (35-21) Oregon. With about 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Second down and 8 at the Oregon 26. 11 penalties for Oregon here today. And that's definitely not acceptable. Mayava, pass complete short left to King Miller. 14-yard gain. Betcher with the coverage. First down and 10 to the Oregon 12. First down, Trojans. Move the chains. First big play for King Miller here today. And obviously it comes off a screen instead of a halfback dive. Shotgun set with the no huddle. Brian Jackson getting a chance to run the football. 3-yard gain up the middle. Washington with the coverage as well as Green. Second down and 7 at the Oregon 9. Hayaba, pass complete, short middle. Lake McCree, touchdown, Trojans. Wow. And just like that, just when you think USC, might start fading away, obviously quite a few PIs, penalties that they took advantage of there. Passing yards allowed, 127.3, second in the nation today, 277, terrible. But again, obviously USC is going to throw first and run second. And a nice touchdown there by their tight end, Luke McCree, 35-27 Oregon. We just can't let our foot off the gas. We have to keep continuing to be able to run the football and have a balanced offense. USC is not going away. All right, Trojans going for 2. This is wild. Stop them, Ducks. Man in motion. A fake. Back of the end zone. And dropped. There we go. Incomplete. Huge. Great job by Aaron Flowers there in the secondary. Probably should have just taken the extra point there. I don't think that really was needed by the Trojans, but why would you go for 2 there? Seemed a little unnecessary, to go for 2 there, but I mean, now you're down by 8, and now you're having to play catch up, make it make sense, right? But again, sometimes these coaches, they live by their own rules and what they want to do. So that might come back to bite them. 35-27 Oregon. All right, baby, we got to try to close this out. All right, 11:32 left in the fourth quarter. 35-27 Oregon, and obviously college football playoff chances are on the line. Both teams need a victory to be able to be in consideration. And obviously, if both teams were to lose, USC or Oregon, obviously the chances of them making the playoff for the Trojans would be almost non-existent. They would go down to like 2%. And then obviously Oregon's chances would be hurt, obviously, by getting a second loss. And we got the Huskies on the road next week in a trap game. So got to find a way to win here and next week. And then we'll just see, how the chips may fall at that point. And Sierra, 65-yard kickoff, and Whittington with a 21-yard return. First down and 10 at the Oregon 21. Good return there by Noah. Amazing throw by Dante Moore there. Dante Moore pass complete short left to Jamari Johnson. 11-yard pass. First down, Oregon. Move the chains. First down and 10 at the Oregon 32. Keep it going, Dante. Shotgun set, Noah Whittington rushing to that right side for about 5 to 6 yards. Second down and 4 at the Oregon 38. 35-27, Ducks lead with about 10:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. Questionable decision to go for 2 by the Trojans, which didn't really make any sense, especially with that much time left in the fourth quarter. Shotgun set with the no huddle. Dante Moore pass incomplete. Now it's third down and 4 at the Oregon 38. Got to be looking at Kenyon Sadiq at some point on this drive as well. Got to keep moving the chains. Let's go, Ducks. Good pressure there by Shelby on Dante Moore on that previous play. Whittington with 79 yards, Davison with 46, Hill with 21. Shotgun set, Dante Moore pass complete to Malik Benson, baby. First down, Ducks. There we go. Great 10-yard pass. Move the trains. Let's go. Big third down conversion for Oregon. Let's go. Let's go, Malik. Be much better than McClellan. Three top receivers out, next man up approach, and Oregon is doing the best. Luckily, we have the best tight end in the country, so that makes up for not having the three, top guys in the, wide receiving room available, but you still would love to have Evan Stewart, DeCorian Moore, and Gary Bryant Jr., no doubt about that. No huddle, shotgun set, Whittington rushing up the middle for a 2-yard gain. Tompkins with the tackle for USC, and that looks like second down and 8 at the 50. Less than 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Ducks up by 8. Should be up by 7, but for whatever weird reason, they decided to go for 2, which really didn't make any sense with that much time left in the game. I mean, you're just putting more pressure, on your team, with that situation. Dante Moore, pass complete, short left to Kenyon Sadiq, the best tight end in the country. Urlacher with the coverage, out of bounds. And that 7-yard pass makes it third down and 1 at the USC 43. Nice screen pass there to Kenyon Sadiq, and a big hurdle as well. What a stud. He will be playing on Sundays, man. Look at those arms. He is jacked. I mean, you don't really see tight ends built like Kenyon Sadiq that often, and obviously we saw how great Tyler Warren was, for Penn State. And Kenyon Sadiq, man, special player. Shotgun set. And Davison rushing up the middle for a 2-yard gain. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. First down and 10 at the USC 41. Tick, 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 tick. Keep plugging away. Let's go. Shotgun set. Davison rushing up the middle. 2-yard gain. Second down and 8 at the USC 39. (21 for 29, 249 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 pick for Dante Moore. Let's go, Ducks. Finish strong. Happy that we, and it shows you the lack of depth at running back for the Trojans. Normally when you think of the Trojans from back in the day, stud running backs, whether it be OJ or Reggie Bush or Lendale White and a number of others, but they just don't have, that really good running game to kind of supplement Lemon and the passing game, which could be the difference in this game if they actually had a stud running back. Hill rushing to that left side for about 8 yards, and that will be very close to the first down marker. I think they're going to give it to him. First down, Oregon. Move the chains. And I love me some De'Aaron Hill Jr. And again, we have the 2 top-rated running back freshmen in the country on the same team, in Davison and Hill, on top of having Noah Whittington. Again, recruiting has been amazing by Dan Lanning the last couple years, and it's going to continue to get better and better until we get to a point where we get to a natty and then hopefully win one in the next 10 to 15 years. Looks like they didn't give it to him. Are they have adjusted the chains now? Now 3rd down and 1. Now they say he only got 7 yards instead of 8. 3rd down and 1 at the USC 32. Marcus Allen, another one. Yeah, back in the day. Absolutely. 2 old school guys like OJ and Marcus Allen. 2 kind of more, in this generation, with Reggie Bush and Lendale White. Shotgun set. Dante Moore, pass complete, short left to Jamari Johnson, the backup tight end. 8-yard gain. First down, Ducks. Let's go. First down and 10 at the USC 24. Let's go. And we'll be doing the Buccaneers and the Rams on Sunday Night Football here on stream tomorrow. And the Panthers and the Niners on Monday night. Looking forward to those 2 matchups on Sunday evening and Monday night. Dante Moore passing complete. Second down and 10 at the USC 24. Takes time. Again, if it was easy to get to a natty and win one, we would have already done it already. And it's not like Oregon, has usually the players, to be able to get to that point or win it all. I mean, we've gone a couple times within the last 20 years, but obviously have come up short a couple times. It's going to take time. It might not be SEC with Alabama and Georgia at the top every, single year, PI. Malik Benson, the intended target there, and we finally get a PI on Nicholson there. DeCarlos Nicholson with the PI, and that will be automatic first down for the Ducks. I mean, of course, if we could end up getting to a natty within the next 5 years and winning it all, that's best case scenario, but we got to be realistic, and hopefully Dan Lanning will stay until he ends up turning old and gray. And, I know he wants to be a Duck coach forever, and normally you never hear forever, out of a coach's mouth, but I do believe Lanning is genuine when he says that he wants to be here. And obviously if Kirby Smart got fired, that would be the first guy that they would try to pluck, getting Dan Lanning to come back, because he was Georgia's defensive coordinator back in the day to win championships for them with Kirby Smart. But I think Dan really does love it in Eugene with his family. And, hopefully we'll be able to do something that Chip Kelly was not able to do, win a championship. First and goal. Hand off up the middle. Touchdown, Oregon. Are they going to give it to him? Let's go. Let's go, baby. 9-yard rushing touchdown up the middle by Noah Whittington. And now we're starting to pull away, and that might have been the dagger. Extra point is up and good. 42-27 Ducks. Let's go. And again, as good as, Oregon has been overall, our only loss is to Indiana. The way that Indiana and Ohio State play, I don't know if Oregon could beat those two teams. I mean, we already lost to the Hoosiers once. And again, top 10 in offense, defense, and special teams. Now if we ended up getting back, DeCorian Moore, Gary Bryant Jr., Evan Stewart, and the offensive line got a little bit healthier, then maybe, we would be able to. And it's not like I feel that Ohio State and Indiana are that much better than everyone else in the top 10. I don't agree with that. But, obviously they are the top two teams in the country, for a reason this year, and again, you're still going to have a few other teams sprinkled in the top 10 that could end up winning the championship. It's not guaranteed that the Buckeyes are going back to back or the Hoosiers are winning it all this year. I mean, it's far from over, and we'll wait and see how it all plays out. But as long as you punch your ticket to the college football playoff, anything can happen. So yeah, USC going independent will never happen. Why do you think they took the money to leave to go to the Big Ten? They're not Notre Dame. USC will be in the Big Ten, and that's where they'll be, moving forward. Nice job, Ducks. 42-27, Oregon lead. Let's go. And really, we only had one team that was probably good enough to win it all. And that was obviously a team against Cam Newton when we played Auburn. That was the year that I think we should have won. But, that late play where you had the running back roll over, on his back and his knee didn't hit. And that gave him the extra yardage to kick the field goal to win at the end. If that play doesn't happen, I think Oregon wins the Natty back in 2010. But, you got to crawl before you walk. You got to, feel the pain before you end up winning most of the time for most teams. And, again, back in the day for us, it was like winning a Rose Bowl was huge, because we just knew that we didn't have the recruiting or the talent to match up, with like Alabama or Georgia or whoever. Ohio State was at the top at the time. So, winning a Rose Bowl was a big thing to us, especially for, people that grew up here on the West Coast, representing the Pac-8, the Pac-10, and the Pac-12. And obviously, getting that Rose Bowl with Chip Kelly was great. But again, now with the BCS no longer in existence and in the college football playoff, now obviously winning a Natty is something that we want to do with Dan Lanning. And obviously Chip wasn't able to do it. But also you got to give Chip credit. He got us players that we never had before, like LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas, and ended up going with a Rose Bowl, a Natty, a Rose Bowl, and a Fiesta Bowl. And back then, that was a big deal. And again, hopefully we'll be able to continue our march towards the championship, here this season and beyond. But again, I like this team better than last year's. But again, you just never know how college football will play out, especially if you end up getting a bye and then you're, sitting a couple weeks off while other teams are playing every week. And I think that's really what benefited the Buckeyes last year, as you saw Oregon and every team that had an undefeated record or one loss when they had that bye and they were off for 2 to 3 weeks. All those teams lost, no matter, how good they played in the regular season. So, sometimes having a loss or two might actually benefit you in college football. So that way you're playing every week instead of having 2 to 3 weeks off and then being rusty and then you end up losing. Shotgun set with the no huddle by Jaden Mayava. Pass complete short left to Jacoby Lane. 5-yard gain. 2nd down and 5 at the USC 30. Yeah, obviously the obvious Showtime. Yeah, better defense, better, we got 3 running backs that we really like. 2 fabulous freshmen that are the 2 top-ranked freshman running backs in the country, and Noah Whittington. But we're a little light at wide receiver. We got the number 1 tight end in Kenyon Sadiq. But, the way that the Buckeyes, obviously they lost their D coordinator and their O coordinator, to D coordinator to Penn State, O coordinator to the Raiders and Chip Kelly. But it hasn't phased Ryan Day one bit. And, at this point, the Buckeyes are, the king of college football. And, The Hoosiers probably have a better chance of beating the Buckeyes than the Ducks do this year, but, we'll see how it goes as we go further to the college football playoff. But pretty cool to see three dominant teams, with the Buckeyes, the Hoosiers, and the Ducks all in the top 7 at this point. So 2-yard pass there by Mayaba to King Miller, and that is 3rd down and 3 at the USC 32. But it's very possible the Buckeyes could go back-to-back. There's no doubt about that. But if there was a team that could, knock the Buckeyes off, obviously Indiana and Oregon would definitely be 2 of the top, 5 teams that might be able to do it. 3rd down and 8, shotgun set, King Miller, and no gain. Great defense there by the Ducks. A nice gang tackle by 5 Ducks there. And now it's 4th down and 3 at the USC 32. Yeah, playoffs are going to be great, and again, it's cool to be able to see the Big Ten as the top conference now, not the SEC, after all the years with Saban and Kirby Smart and whatnot. Now, the SEC does have good teams still, but it doesn't have that same type of feel anymore. Wow, 4th down and 8 and a big jump ball. How the hell did he catch that? Wow. 1st down, Trojans, kind of a 500 ball back in the backyard with the Nerf football. Doesn't even have to be the Nerf screamer. And he just throws it up for a 500 ball. And a big catch there. 1st down, Trojans. And a screen pass. And good tackle there. And timeout called by Oregon. Yeah, I agree. Playoffs are going to be incredible. Yeah, I mean, before it was just like, okay, if you're going to play for Kirby Smart or Saban, you're going to the NFL, right? So a lot of people would just be like, I'm going there. And if they weren't going there, they would be like, maybe I'll go to Ohio State. That usually was like the 3rd team, and then every once in a while, you'll see a Michigan, do well, but they had Harbaugh, right? You had, LSU, right? With Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and, a few of those studs there, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so they had something special brewing there. And obviously got the job done. And then obviously Clemson, with Dabo Swinney and Trevor Lawrence, and Deshaun Watson. So it's like every once in a while, you'll see like a Clemson be beast or LSU, but not year in and year out. And then now, like you mentioned, with the parity, with the NIL, no loyalty from players or coaches really anymore, maybe besides Dan Lanning in Oregon, where, you never know, if you end up signing to a team, if he doesn't start, that guy might just dip, and go to another team a couple months later or the following year. So shotgun set, Mayaba, pass complete short middle to Walker Lyons, the tight end. 1st down and 10 at the Oregon 26. But I definitely agree with that. There's not really a whole lot of loyalty from the players and coaches overall. And it's pretty much, if you are able to recruit at a high level and people know that you have a good chance of, making the NFL, then there's other things that are involved. The school itself, the education process, the uniforms, the combinations, and everything else, the facilities, all that comes into mind, for a lot of these high school kids and college kids, when they want to choose their team. Mayaba, shotgun set, deep middle to Jacoby Lane, incomplete. Off the play action there. Floater just out of reach. Good effort by Lane diving for that ball. 2nd down and 10 at the Oregon 26. Yeah. Well, at least you got the Buckeyes, though. I mean, for me, it's like, I got mostly Northwest teams, so it's like, for me, it's like the Blazers, the Ducks, Mariners, the Kraken for hockey, and the only team that I represent that's outside of where I live is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, since I've been a fan of defense and a fan of them, for 30 years. So, not all our favorite teams are going to be good. So, pass incomplete. Mayaba short middle to Zacharias Williams. First time we're talking about him. And Williams just out of reach. And 3rd down and 10. Mayaba Shotgun set, incomplete short to Mekhi Lemon, who might be the best wide receiver in the country or one of the best. And now that turns into 4th down and 10 at the Oregon 26. Appreciate you. Yeah, like I said, this ain't my first rodeo. I've been doing this for 13 years. This is my 9th year on YouTube. And again, I may look young, but I've been watching sports since I was 3, and I'm 43. So I've been watching since the mid-'80s and a little bit of everything. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling, you name it, I watch it. And timeout is called. But for a lot of my teams, I've been following since the 80s or maybe the 90s. The only team that I haven't been following that long might be the Kraken, since they've only been in existence for a couple years. But, for the Blazers, the Mariners, Ducks, all of that has been since the 80s. And then obviously Tampa Bay, Buccaneers since 95, since they drafted Sapp and Brooks. I've always been more of a defensive-oriented kind of fan. And, love linebackers, love safeties, and I love positions that get overlooked, like O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling. I feel like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end are kind of positions that are a little overblown by the media and whatnot, but it is what it is. J-Dub with a $5, appreciate you. Yeah, I am worried about Washington. It's a trap game for us, and I appreciate you. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Now, they're not going to be as tough, you would assume, as USC. They're not ranked. They're 7-3, but they're going to be in Seattle in front of their fans. Damon Williams is like a Kyler Murray, so we know that he can run and throw incredibly fast, right? Jonah Coleman, obviously, is one of the best running backs in the country, and they have David Boston's son, Denzel Boston, at wide receiver. Pretty good offensive line, pretty good defense, sideline to sideline, and it's a rivalry game like this. So again, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a blowout against the Huskies. We're going to have to earn it, and then we'll just see where the chips fall. Chief in the building with a $5 matching. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. But again, when I started watching Oregon in the 80s, they were winning like a game a year or two. So to be able to see the development in the last 25 years, with Bellotti and Joey Harrington, and then where we're at now in the last 25 years, it's exciting, And again, you'll get the haters and the shit talkers saying, oh, you guys got 1 million uniform combinations and 0 natties. Well, sorry, there's 100 Division I teams in football, and for a majority, it's been dominated by 3 schools, right? Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. And then if you were lucky enough to be Michigan, LSU, or Clemson, good for you. But for us, it's not as easy. And again, normally we get speed, but we normally wouldn't be able to get the bigger athletes. They would go to another school, right? Like Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, somewhere else. But now with Dan Lanning, we're starting to get the big boys, on the O-line and the D-line to come to the school. And now you're starting to see Oregon, with all the parity in the NIL, we're starting to match up, and we can now pretty much play anybody, but it wasn't like that, in the last 10 to 15 years. There was other teams that had bigger bodies, and we just really couldn't match, weight for weight. A lot of times our O-line and D-line was undersized by 50 pounds. Not anymore. Handoff up the middle. And timeout there by USC. Yeah, and I feel like the people that talk about the jerseys and the helmets and then the no natties, you got to be able to come up with something other than that. That's literally the only thing that a lot of these haters can say, But again, think about how many teams that don't have a fucking natty. It's not just Oregon. And don't be mad because we got great jerseys and the kids love the different helmets and the different jerseys and the gloves and the cleats. Hell, if I was in college, that would be something that would intrigue me as well. It's not just about fashion, but if you look good, you feel good, you play good, like Dion said. And it's true, right? There's some schools that only have a home and away, and that's fine, but, if you got, the money and the people that are pooling in, with Nike and everything else, take advantage, and again, I love that we got the fashion sense, but ultimately the natty is what we want. And hopefully we will be able to get one with Dan Lanning before it's all said and done. So 3rd down and 1 at the Oregon 35 after Whittington with a 8-yard gain. Pierce with the coverage and the tackle. And again, we might not be able to win the Natty the first time that we go, with this Dan Lanning regime. I think we should have won against Auburn. That was the one that we should have won. When we went with Marcus Mariota, we weren't winning that one. We had 0% chance in that one. But the one against Auburn, against Cam Newton, we should have won that one, in my opinion. But, it is what it is. We at least got a Rose Bowl in that Chip Kelly era, which was nice against Wisconsin and Russell Wilson. I haven't forgot about that. And then, again, dreams change once you go from the Pac-8, the Pac-10, the Pac-12, and now you're a part of the Big Ten with the big boys, with USC, Oregon, Washington, obviously joining, as well as UCLA. And if they didn't have the rivalry between UCLA and USC, I think Utah would have been a better choice for the Big Ten, but, it is what it is. Feel bad for the Cougars and the Beavers kind of getting left in the dust, and both of those programs have gone backwards after all the other teams left and joined other conferences. Flag on the play, face mask on the defense, penalty is declined, another personal foul, hand to the face, defense again, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Conference championship games, yeah. Obviously, it favors teams like Notre Dame that, that don't have a conference, if they have a great record and whatnot. But I don't see, it's all about money, Showtime, and you know that too. So a lot of times when you look at these polls and you got two teams that are close, to each other, usually the team that's going to get better ratings or more money to come in or is the team that some of these people that have the vote are going to choose. It's about money. More games played, more money that is being made. Timeout is called, and we're at the 2-minute warning, 42-27, Oregon. But it's cool to be able to see like where we were, at the very beginning, and again, it's like, having Rich Brooks, in the 80s, that kind of got us going. Then Mike Bellotti was someone that we really loved. It was kind of like the grandpa coach, got Joey Harrington, Captain Comeback. He was the first Heisman that we really got, some, pub and love, from other fans and the media. And then obviously just been progressing every year after Joey Harrington in the early 2000s. And, getting Chip Kelly was huge. We never had players like LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas ever. And then finally getting guys like that, took us to another level with Darren Thomas. And now we're just, progressively getting better and better. And obviously with the NIL and everything else, we're starting to really match up. And it's no longer going to be dominated, by two schools, Alabama and Georgia. Things have changed. And, for the longest time, it was those two teams and maybe Ohio State. And, if you weren't on one of those three teams, you have no chance, of making a natty. Now, it feels like, you have a chance if you're a top 10 team. Obviously you still got the Buckeyes at the top, but, Georgia is really good too. Alabama has, fallen back considerably, like Michigan, because they don't have Saban and Harbaugh to save them anymore, But again, if Alabama and Michigan end up getting a Saban Harbaugh-like type of coach, maybe they'll be elite again. But things are changing pretty dramatically in college football, but also some things are still staying the same, like the dominance of the Buckeyes. But also cool to be able to see the Hoosiers, normally known, as a basketball school back in the day, with Bobby Knight, and obviously not very good at basketball anymore, Indiana. And then now being able to put two really good seasons together. And, they've definitely stepped up in big ways. And, this year when Oregon played them, they were the only team that were top 10 in offense, top 10 in defense, top 10 in special teams. And I really respect Indiana's coach, a very fiery guy. And they definitely gave Oregon the business earlier this year. And I'm not shocked that they're still sitting number 2, even though they've had a couple scares at the end of the game for the Indiana Hoosiers. But cool to be able to see a team that normally would never be mentioned in college football be pretty fucking good. Honestly, they had the spread by Vegas by 10.5, but the lack of the running game by USC, was kind of a concern for me, as far as their chances of beating Oregon. Now if they had a Reggie Bush, Lendale White, maybe this game is tied right now, or maybe the Trojans are ahead, but no Gary Bryant Jr., no DeCorian Moore, no Evan Stewart. But again, we got 3 great running backs, the number 1 tight end, a great quarterback, amazing defense, better than last year's. And defense wins games, defense wins championships. So Timeout USC. Yeah, Patricia is awesome. I will agree with that. I mean, you ended up losing your O coordinator, D coordinator, but when you're the Buckeyes and then you recruit at a high level, you know, they're going to be able to bring in the right people to get the job done. And, you know, Chip Kelly definitely was very instrumental on the, you know, winning the Natty for the Buckeyes last year. His play calling was fantastic. And honestly, if they didn't have Chip Kelly as OC, they may or may not have won it last year. You know, I think that he was very instrumental, not only in the Oregon game, but in that entire run. He was fantastic. 2nd down and 9 with less than 2 minutes to go. 17 rushes, 100 yards, and a tutty for Whittington. And Whittington rushing for no gain. 3rd down and 9 at the USC 49. I mean, we gave up 27, but again, Lemon is arguably the best, you know, wide receiver in the country, or one of the best. So I would say, you know, even though we gave up 27, you know, I would say the defense, you know, with a couple interceptions, I would say B. It wasn't an A. You know, if we held the Trojans to 14 or less, then I would have said A, or even 17 or less, I would have said A-A. But, you know, there was a few, you know, PIs, you know, that were legit, a few that were questionable. But again, I would say a B, you know, or like an 8 out of 10, you know, could have been better, you know, but again, we put up 42. So, you know, and again, for them to go for the 2-point conversion was kind of the beginning of the end for them. You know, I don't really know what Lincoln Riley was thinking there, but, you know, now my pup is in here to join the festivities. 3rd down and 9, 4-yard run by Whittington. And now it's 4th and 5 at the USC 45. The love of my life, the pup, the Paisley pup, changed my life forever. Seven and 1 in the Big Ten, 10 and 1 overall. Oregon just trying to keep pace with the Indiana Hoosiers and the Ohio State Buckeyes, but pretty cool, you know, to be able to see 3 Big Ten teams, you know, at the top. And again, anything can happen. Take care, Marine. If Oregon played Indiana at home again, do you think that they would win? I don't know. I mean, they are a very balanced team. You know, they know how to run the football. They have a great quarterback, you know, in Mendoza. You know, defense flies around. I don't know if we could beat them, honestly. And normally, you know, with certain fan bases, you know, people get cocky. Oh, we can win this. We can win that. They're nothing. They're shit. You know, but if you actually are watching them play games, you know, throughout the year, you realize how good the Hoosiers and the Buckeyes have played this year. Nobody seems like unbeatable, you know, but I don't know. I don't know if Oregon could beat them at home or on the road. You know, they definitely had the formula on how to beat us. Now, if we ended up having Evan Stewart, DeCorian Moore, and, you know, Gary Bryant Jr., our offensive line, and any other player that was injured healthy, that would make me feel a little bit more confident. But you got to give credit where credit is due. The Buckeyes and the Hoosiers are legit this year. And we got one more snap left after the Ferguson-Reynolds punt. Go Ducks. He said, I hit you with the OH. I'll do it for you. I'm a fan of greatness. You know, I love my teams, but I'm not biased. You know, if I see something fantastic on the other side, we make sure that we acknowledge it here on the channel. which is kind of rare, where you do see a lot of streamers only caring about their team and their players. And, when they see something special happen on the opposite side, they don't acknowledge it, but not here. We definitely will appreciate greatness wherever it's at, even if it's not on our favorite teams. And Jackson rushing up the middle. And that is it. Final score, Oregon 42, USC 27. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Final score, Oregon Ducks 42, USC Trojans 27. A very good game in the first half. Started to kind of get away from the Trojans in the second half. Great job by the Oregon defense overall, as well as Dante Moore. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do on your way out. And again, we will be live tomorrow for the Buccaneers and the Rams for Sunday Night Football. Should be a great one, as well as Monday night between the Panthers and the Niners. I do believe that will be a great one as well. Appreciate you guys very, very much. TJ, appreciate the help. And congratulations, Oregon Ducks. You proved to 10-1, 7-1 in the Big Ten. And shout out to USC. They dropped to 8-3, 6-2 in the Big Ten. And they definitely have a team that is not easy to beat. Appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Go Ducks.